working. Alright, welcome everyone. Hello. Welcome everyone to the first Wednesday Faction Wars this year in 2026. What? You mean this is not the first tournament of this year? What? Of course, we did a New Year's Faction Wars. That was different. That was on Thursday, so it's not a Wednesday Faction Wars. And yeah, this is the first official Wednesday Faction Wars this year. I actually should probably get some meme tournaments going at some point soon. It's been a while. But anyways, we're back with another Wednesday Faction Wars with some multiplayer combat in the Conquest Mode. Let me just actually message my opponent, set up the lobby and all that. Yep. Wednesday Faction Wars, and our first map is on Shimmer Sword. Or did my opponent settle anything? No, not yet. Alright, let me just give my opponent the code, and then we can start setting up the lobby. Shimmer Sword, it's it has some forest. Nothing too crazy, but a pretty open map in general. We're playing as the vampire counts against the dwarves though, so we have to brave the enemy artillery bombardment as we push on. The problem is we don't have a fast army, so it's gonna be a bit awkward here. Mongols are there. I'm not gonna bring Mongols, and I'm trying not to bring Varguys, because I absolutely despise using them. Or at least I will try to bring less of them, because I absolutely despise using them. They are absolutely crap. In terms of survivability, they just die and melt, like, in the first 10 seconds of combat. And with my kind of micro, I would just leave them for, like, even if you leave them in there for 1 second too long, they just go off like a banana that is kind of brown. Like, you just look away for 1 sec and it's rotten and dead. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, make sure to like and subscribe, guys. But to be honest, I assume if you're already here, I'm sure you're already subscribed. So yeah, make sure to like the stream. That helps with the algorithm and stuff. Hey Butcherbird, it's been a while, and welcome to the Wednesday Faction Wars tournament. It's like, theoretically it's gonna be a casual tourney, but you never know what your opponent might bring. Most players are just kind of play some. You refuse to like and stuff. Banned immediately. You're kicked from the tournament. No tournament for you. But yeah, I should bring one black coach just cause for the lols. It might just die to cannons, honestly, but we shall see. Bring a Laddie Daddy von Carstein. You know what? I'm gonna bring Winds of Death just cause why the fuck not? And Blood Drinker, Master of Beguilement. We don't really need the Hunger when we have Blood Drinker. We can. We probably don't need to though. And I guess Van Hels's Dance Macabre and an Invocation. No, I'm just gonna bring Van Hels. I'll bring an Invocation. Fuck it. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Tons of zombies. Metla Tigging Winds of Death. It's been a while. It's been a while I see it. I don't actually watch Total War content, so not here. Fair. I just brought Triple Chosen. Wait, what faction are you playing today? Nurg. Oh, God. Against Norska, too, so. Wait, are those great weapons chosen? I wonder if your opponent's gonna bring a ton of javelins. Then the shielded Chosens would actually work pretty well. But yeah, we shall see what happens here. I might just bring a couple crypt goals. Why are they 600 gold? They're so expensive. Drop them down to 550. That would have been more like it, but I will. Should I just bring a couple Banshee in case I need to poke single entities with them? Man, it's so expensive here. I don't have Vanguard, so yeah, I guess I'll just mass infantry this shit and see what happens with a single black coach. Oh god, this is gonna end up so poorly. Basic Twilight swears. Twilight swears it works. Huh? Basic. They're OP in Wait. Chosens are OP in Domination? I mean, I'm not familiar with the Domination meta, so I don't really know. But I wonder if it's because you can't really fight them with multiple units. Like, they can just sit there and hold a point forever. And grind. I don't know. Again, I don't play much Domination. It's just not my kind of... Not my cup of tea, I would say. So, yeah. Goals are... Okay, never mind. Goals are OP in... Really? Really? I mean, their performance have always been lackluster, in my opinion. Maybe I should bring them up and see what happens. Yeah, I'll bring them in the next battle. I probably should give it them a go. But in this battle we are playing... we're playing a stupid army. It's just flat. Coming in with a horde. We'll still bring some ghosts on the side. Can't wait apparently. Vanguard and Stalk makes sense. They can just rush towards the capture point. But combat performance wise they are kind of lackluster. They can beat Chaff fine. I guess that makes sense. You just Vanguard them and beat whatever Chaff rushing onto the capture point and hold the point. And I guess unit cost isn't that bad for them. I don't know. Usually I find them quite lackluster, but whatever. Then again, I don't play Dom, so doesn't really... My knowledge doesn't really apply here. In this matchup, I guess one thing they could do is just to try and... Wait, hold on, where are they? Oh, yeah. Try and fight Slayers. That would have worked well for them. Alright, and then we have a Black Coach on the side. Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I'm just playing as a bit of Undead today. It's been a while since I played them. Alright, we are ready, so I'm just gonna quickly... Yeah, I am ready, so just get the battle started and wait for my opponent to click start. Oh, hey Krell, what shocking news, I do wonder. You wanna give me a hint? Anyways, we are ready. Just waiting for our opponent. Alright, good luck, have fun to our opponent. Looks like they are also ready. Ooh. Is there any artillery? No, but they... Oh, there's quite a bit, actually. Both throwers. Let's see what happens. We're gonna have to hide away that Black Coach, because that's gonna be awkward if they get shot. Start marching up. And praying to the whatever dark gods these vampire counts worship. Your weekly Slangor discussion? What's happening with the Slangor? I remember my opinion has changed for them. They actually got pretty decent. So yeah. What do you wanna say about the Slangors, mate? Alright, I'm just gonna hide behind the trees while my army march forward. Alright. You stay behind the tree. Just keep staying behind the tree. I don't want you to go up anywhere. Yeah, both. Yeah, trees! The indestructible terrain, boy! The unbreakable trees! Alright, let's turn our army around a bit. I want to commit my forces before dropping... Actually, that's a Slayer... Demons... Oh, there's a Demon Slayer. Alright. In that case, you go there. You two start going over and harass those... minus blasting charges so I can march my forces up. You guys go that way. Vlad can take some hits, I guess. I also didn't bring summon, so yeah, we don't have any harassing tools. Good news is Black Coach. I guess we can start chugging that Black Coach into combat. All right, Vlad goes there. Everything else starts moving up. Well, actually, you guys can start moving to a flanking position. All right, charge! All right, time to go. And you go there. Oh shit! Go hit that. Push through and hit that. I need you guys to. Ooh, oh, that's not ideal. All right, you guys start pushing. You guys start pushing. You guys start pushing. You guys start moving up as well. That is not ideal. Time to run. Cause why the fuck not? Let's just drop some. I think we are a little bit rough. A little bit off on that one. Oh, I probably should have overcast this. This is not doing jack shit. My bad. Mistakes were made. Alright, go and fight that while you guys are busy chasing that down. Alright, go fight that. You fight that. I should have overcast the Winds of Death, man. You guys keep tying them down, I guess. And you guys go fight that. You keep chasing after those and get some heals while you're at it. I don't really need a Dance Macabre yet because I've got nothing decent in the fight. Alright. Tactical Reserve, boys. Tactical Reserve. It's not that I forgot about those units. Alright, we are cutting through their stuff. And, you know what can use the Dance Macabre? These guys. Alright, start pushing. Harass them. We've got Banshees who can just rush in. Doesn't really matter. The Slayers absolutely hacked apart my Banshee. Oh, I mean, not Banshees, but, Alright, fight that. I'm just saving up for another Winds of Death somewhere else, I guess. Alright, go and fight that while before you guys die from the hail of bullets. Alright, go and fight that. That should be fine here. And I can use that later. I don't really need it right now. Vlad is very competent as a fighter, so he has no problem. Excuse me. The Carnraves died to the Carnraves died there, but it's fine. It's a worthy trade. Yeah, you know what? You can go after this Demon Slayer. We can turn off. We can just nuke their attack stats. And keep chasing down those guys there. I think we got it. Yeah, we've got a pretty comfortable lead right now. Right, absolutely slapping them. The Winds of Death didn't even do much here. Can we get an overcast version this time? Yeah, we can, but there's no good targets though. We'll do it here. Let's see what it does this time. A lot better. We got a hit. We got a good hit, and that's army losses. We got a good hit, but yeah, it's not as much as it would have done before. Mass infantry boys. I hate using far guys. I just can't use them properly. Versus DW. There we go. GG to our opponent there. Mass infantry boys. I sometimes just love using not too meta stuff. Oh, sorry, just quickly answering some queries about the tournament first. Alright, so for the army performances here, Vlad absolutely beat the shit out of the Demon Slayer. Yep, it's all good. And one of the Conraves who survived the onslaught managed to cut through all those armored infantry, chase down the poor, the poor Iron Drakes and wait, where are these? Yeah, these guys, the Grim Dwellers. So got some pretty good valor. The Conraves trade well into the infantry there. Mostly because I don't think my opponent is really geared towards fighting a mass infantry army. You can see there's too many bolt throwers in this army. So I was able to get it. I forgot about the Black Coach, actually. Now that I think about it, I just kind of forgot about them after sending them towards some Iron Drakes and Grim Delvers. They died. Yeah. They did pretty well. But yeah, this army just is not geared towards fighting a mass infantry army. Who won? I won in the end. There's too many infantry for the bolt throwers to deal with. Plus, it's also because I hate Varguys. If I brought Varguys, they're gonna be dead before they hit the ground because of the bolt throwers, cannons, and Iron Drakes. Wild build. I do pride myself in sometimes bringing non-conventional builds, I guess. Yeah. Chat vampire build, GG, thank you. Well, it's the biggest chat is of course Vlad the Daddy von Carstein. So yes, it's all that one chat with two ladies beside him too, the Banshees. But of course, theoretically, is the only lady beside him is Isabella von Carstein. Way too much RT for dwarves. Yeah, I feel like one cannon would be more than enough, honestly. Hey, Laduro. Hope you're enjoying your game so far. We are just kind of waiting for the last matchup to conclude. Oh, it's Drugashan race. It's gonna take a while. Alright. Let me just get those replays and then we should be ready to go. Cause yeah, Drugashan race is still going at it. So yeah, give me a second there as I oh, actually, let me just check if there are any DMs and making sure that I'm not missing anything important there. Yeah, I think that's fine. Alright, let me just get those replays and start casting. Or maybe the round one will conclude before I finish casting a replay. Who knows? But right now, let me just check the replay file size. Actually, we want the shortest one. So then, oh yeah, tree hugger. Yeah, we have two wood elf armies today. So it's about who is the best tree hugger. What the fuck? What the fuck is this shit? Wait, you can't. Are you supposed? Can you bring 12 missiles? I thought 10 is max. Let me just check. Oh, what is this shit? Hold the fuck up. Hold the fuck up. Wait. Range units, total range 12. Never mind. My bad. Range units 12. 10 is. I think 10 is the unit caps. So we have 2 without factions today because we have quite a few players. So I was thinking it's all right if we have just like 1 duplicate race. But the problem is, I will need to put them in a mirror match in round 1, just to decide who is the best tree hugger for this week. Ludero going Wood Elves and Spartan going Wood Elves as well. And this is what we ended up. 2 arrows bloating out the sky build. Like you see, for the green elves, the green Wood Elves. We have green tree huggers, we have eternal gods with shields in the front line, backed up by 12 whole units of Glade gods, 4 regular ones, 4 Starfire shafts, and 4 Hackbane tips. And then a few more units of dryads. One of is the Wraiths of the Frozen Heart, and then the other is just a regular one. Actually, just 2 Wraiths. Leading the army is Drycha, and on the other side is also led by Drycha with a front line of Dryads, backed up by a lot less Glade Gods this time, only 6 units, but still Hackbane tips, Hackbane tips, Hackbane tips actually makes sense. And then 2 more Glade Gods in the front. Because you don't really need you might need Starfire shafts against trees, but who would bring a trees in this matchup, right? Wild Riders at the back there, and more Wild Riders, one of them the Wild Hunters of Kunus, providing some Vanguard deployment mobility. Leading the army is Drycha. Oh, looks like round 2 is happening, but immediately Malkov's Mystifying Miasma onto the Wild Riders. How? Whoa, that's a long cast. I didn't realize Malkov's is that long range. Those trees factors. The mirror. Oh, the Green Wood Elves versus Dark Green Wood Elves. What a game. Yeah. I mean, at least the unit flags are still pretty obvious. But yeah, it's 12 arrow fire versus 6. But looks like the 12 arrow units are actually backing the hell out. They need to stand their guns, just keep shooting, man. Like, they need as much shooting as they can get into the enemy. Like, if they can just get the shooting first, they probably could have already obliterated the Dryad line in front. And yeah, you can see they're just lighting up those Dryads. Dryads don't have shields, so they just got absolutely shredded. But there comes the Wild Riders from the back there, and more Wild Riders over here, but slowed down by the Malkovs, and some Eternal Guards are sallying forth to try and block them up. Looks like some of them managed to do so, but here comes some Dryads. Ooh, nice summon of a Dryads, and a Penumbral Pendulum right down the line on some of these Glade Gods. But here comes those Wild Riders slamming into the backs of these Glade Gods. Can they obliterate those Glade Gods in time? But there are some Dryads moving in, and oh no, 2 units of Wild Riders clumping up on 1 single Glade Gods while the rest fires in. This is the a single player experience. Almost feels like the checkerboard formation, the blocky units of archers, and then they're just all firing into some blopped up cavalry and infantry. Some of the Wild Riders managed to push through a bit. Oh no, the Dryads should just keep going after. It should just keep go after these Glade Gods instead of trying to push into the back. As yeah, the Wild Riders have been dealt with by the Eternal Gods, and Glade Gods absolutely shredding them. Looks like the red elves are failing with their push there, clumping up their units a bit too much. And some of them managed to get to the back line, and one of the Glade Gods finally routed, but there's still, what, 10 more to go? Oh, shit. Yeah, one is actually disrupted by some Dryads, and on the other side, these Glade Gods took quite a bit of damage, but managed to return. But looks like the green elves are going pretty well. They have managed to stave off the flanking of all those Wild Riders. Clumping up a bit there really made these Reindeer Cav pay the ultimate price. If they managed to spread out, they probably could have hit, like, they could have charged from an angle that maybe hit 1 and 2 units of Glade Gods and just disrupt them, and then the rest of the Dryads could have had a better time rushing in. But With so much firepower, looks like the green elves prevail, and Ludero will be winning this matchup against wait, hold on, Spartan, according to the Discord name. So yeah, GG to both players. Looks like the ultimate firepower has won this matchup. The mobility, unfortunately, couldn't withstand those absolute hail of arrow fire, and yeah, the Wild Riders got absolutely shredded. This is one of the wildest hunts I've ever seen. Indeed, not the wild hunters though. it's the archers that are wild as hell. But yeah, next up we are fighting wood. Oh fuck no, not wood elves. This is a horrible matchup for vampire counts. What the fuck is my luck today? This is not. I guess I can bring a couple goals in this matchup, because what's gonna happen is they're gonna spam trees, and I don't have good options against trees. But if I don't if I dedicate myself to fight trees, and then if they bring an arrow spam build, I'm fucked. Because the anti-tree build is probably like 2 Vargovs, maybe 2 Banshees as well. And those Vargos are gonna get chewed up by those Glade Gods alive. So I don't freaking know. This is gonna be rough. Alright, let's see. We need to go and find our opponent actually. Ludero, you got a lobby? Oh shit! What did I press? All right, never mind. Let me just get a lobby. Lamar, I just. All right. Anyways, me and Ludero asked the same question at the same time, so I'm just gonna set up a lobby and just drop them in. Oh, looks like they have a lobby instead, so I'm just gonna hop on over then. Yeah, we go. At least Dwarves is even for VC. Yeah, it is pretty. It's not bad. It's a decent one. But what else? What else? Oh no, I'm not looking forward to this. Oh, I cry. Yeah, I should have went for Tomb Kings instead. Damn it. How do I play this? How the fuck can I even play this? How do I deal with like tree spams and Durflu? There's still and if there's no tree spam and Durflu, I'm gonna be dealing with arrows. You know what? I'll bring Vlad again. I might bring. No, not Manfred. I need a. Ooh, actually, I need a Von Carstein Vampire Lord for the Storm of the Night, Zombie Dragon, and Flock of Doom. Like, if they're blobbing, I can probably Flock of Doom the infantry and fight the monsters afterwards. We shall see. And a shit ton of zombies as per usual. And then a couple Banshees. Take off all their abilities and items because I don't really want them. What else can I do? Maybe a couple dogs or Blood Knights. Yeah, I'll bring a Blood Knight with lances, just in case I need to fight their cavalry and stuff. Dire Pack works. And then I guess this will have to be it. Oh, actually no. Nah, I don't want elite infantry here. Oh wait, no. What? I don't necessarily. Maybe not elite infantry. Just well. The Grave Gods are as elite as the Vampire Counts can get. Never mind. Yeah, I think this would be our build, kind of. And then spend some more spend some more stuff on spells, and then that's about it. Yeah, I think that's about it. I probably need the hunger. I don't have the gold, damn it. Right, regular. Regular skellies, and then yeah, that will do. This is not gonna end well, isn't it? This is not gonna end well. Oh, I can do that, and then Curse of Undeath, which will spam a bit. Yeah, and then Charm Shield. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I'll do that. Oh no, this is not gonna end well. I think tree spam is not that hard as VZ with Dragonlord and some sort of support. The problem is if I prepare for a tree spam, archers are gonna be the bane of my existence. Like, you can see this build is prepared for a tree spam. I've got nothing to deal with an archer spam. Couple more dogs, I guess. But if I have dogs, I can't afford stuff to go against trees. That's the dilemma of playing vampire counts against wood elves. You can deal with them. You can have stuff to deal with either build, but they're mutually exclusive on dealing with the other build. So yeah, it's just not ideal. And I also don't have money, even if I cut a zombie and the skull. I do technically if I cut the charm shield. I don't know if I want to do that though. Actually, I do. Yeah, I guess. I don't know, cause like if Durflu and another tree man exists, that would be very awkward for my one lone dragon. And don't forget, they are not only bringing trees to the build, but also like free Hawk Riders, right? And you just don't have a lot of options to go against those either. Yeah. Oh, maybe I should have brought Vargheists, I guess. Do I really want to bring Vargheists? I actually despise that unit, but I might need to bring them. Kite just sucks to deal with. That is true. Such is the life of vampire counts. I'll just cut these guys and bring a Vargheist, I guess. I'm probably gonna regret this, but oh, I can bring more flyers. I'm probably gonna regret this, but yeah, it is what it is, and I'll just bring another Skelly, I guess. Block spam and breath before even engaging. Yeah, that's true. I'm just gonna be annoyed about. Do I have enough money for something else? No, I don't. I actually don't. I guess I'll sort of anti-heroes myself and just see what happens. Yep, let's see what happens. Probably gonna end up horribly. I don't know. Yeah, I think I have 3 monsters, 3 special single entities, and then 2 heroes. I think I'm fine with that, with the build. I think it's a legal build. But yeah, not ideal, this matchup. It's gonna be rough. Right, but yeah, we have the anti-air kite contingent here. All these bats and Vargheists. Oh wait, only bats can Vanguard deploy, so I'm gonna send them up over there. Well, to be fair, just these units alone, they're probably gonna have a hard time catching up to the Hawk Riders, but I do have Storm of the Night, which will help a lot. So we shall see if that's gonna work. If not, we're fucked. If yes, then we still have a chance. A couple Banshees to poke at trees. I mean, they're gonna get slapped by trees as well, but I don't really have a better option here. Other than the double Varghulf, which are very inconsistent in terms of, like, melee fighting power. So, which is why I need those 2 Banshees to go along as well. But yeah, I feel like I went too much into a counter tree build, so if it's an archer spam, I might get screwed pretty hard. Well, we shall see. Okay. Alright. Let's go. It's a kite! Oh, it's a cavalry kite! Oh shit, I'm this is not ideal. Oh shit. It's an archer kite. I don't see any units here. It's all glade. It's all well, fuck. Went too far ahead with units there, and they're dying. Let me just invocation them a bit. I was scared for a sec because I heard Curse of Years. Alright, let's just send up our infantry and start screening, I guess. I'm fine with just eating shots with Felbats from, Alright, you know. Felbats eating shots from... Yeah, from those Weight Watchers isn't the worst idea in the world, I don't think. I just need to keep... Oh, not a whole lot of damage. That's fine. Stabilizing their hit points and stuff. Can you pin them down for a bit, maybe? Alright, let's just keep the infantry moving. And pull back my lord a bit there. Alright, pull back the Felbats and just keep those guys kind of threatened. Pull my Banshees out. Just keep pushing. Oh, we're gonna get kite to death, isn't it? Alright, we are just eating some archer fire here and there, which is whatever. We'll have to take that loss. It's mass archers. We don't have enough cavalry to handle those. Zombies are getting chewed up by a lot of stuff. Not ideal. Can I fly close enough to drop it? Yep, we can start Flock of Dooming them, I guess. Which helps. Alright, pull back. You pull back as well, because those archers are coming. Zombies start pushing up, and you guys pull back. We are not in time. We don't have time to. Alright, let's fly those bats over, and you guys can probably start chasing and trying to spot those. Yeah, you can probably try and chase and pressure and spot those. Yep, those are there, and jump them. Keep pushing. You guys hold back. My Felbats are almost all gone, and I can get a Flock of Doom here. Alright, start giving them some losses. I still need to hide my, alright. Pull back a bit. Keep pushing. We don't have zombie summons, which is also an awkward thing. Big mistake, I guess, not bringing them. Oh, looks like that Banshee is going down. Spears, I need your help. Just stand around the Banshee. Alright, go and silence them. You guys start to push, and the Banshee's fine. Banshee's holding. Breath attack onto those guys. And you guys start pushing, I guess. We have to start the push. Right. Just drop on them. Drop on these guys, actually. Alright, those are gonna be dead, whatever. We just have to accept that. Have to Invocation of the Heck myself. Alright, start punching over, get those Vargolf over, stop getting distracted. I need you guys there yesterday. Jump on those guys. Everyone start pushing, doesn't matter what you are. Just start pushing. And yeah. Alright, shit. Keep chasing them, keep harassing them. I should have brought the shield! Ah! The damage, it hurts so much. Yeah. Alright, shit. Mistakes, mate. And, oh shit, the direwolves, I forgot about them. The dire pack. Man, if I had those more cavalry around the area. Shit. I need an invocation on myself soon. Alright, push over there. One more wins. One more wins. I need one more. Oh, fuck! That's the end of the guy. That's the end of him. Oh, GG. Actually, breath attack on them. Can you at least get a breath attack out? Half a breath attack. Oh, shit. That is GG, I guess. Yeah, I forgot the... Man, if I had those direwolves a bit earlier. Yeah, that was a big mistake on my end. Forgot about them. Ah! No, it's the kite is too much. I didn't have the resources to keep pushing. Like, I built for it. I built for a tree spam. And, that did not pay off. It was not a tree spam. It was a kite. It was a kite. And man, those Way Watcher fire is just too devastating, man. F Vampire. Yeah, it's an L for this one. Well, I don't think we can push. I don't think we can bring this one back. Yeah, biggest mistake. We forgot the whole dire pack at the back. Yeah, that was a major mistake. If we have them earlier, like having them striking those chasing down those Way Watchers at the same time, they would have chilled those Hawkeyes of Drakira and Way Watchers up while we have them distracted with our big monsters and single entities. But alas, that was not the case here, and I don't think we can bring this one back, honestly. Yeah, we can still kill off a few more of these pesky archers, I guess. Why are you guys all the way in there, actually? But yeah, there's still a few Hawkeyes of Drakira left, and they are annoying as hell. Not gonna lie. Banshees are dying from the magic attacks, and yeah, well, I don't think we can do anything about this. I should have brought the charm shield. That would have worked. That would have worked way better, cause the. Yeah, again, I was just building. I geared way too. I leaned too hard into killing trees and didn't bring enough stuff for killing archers. So yeah, that spelled my doom. Basically. Alright, can we get some more units over and hunt down the Hawkeyes of Drakira? Oh no, the Vargolf got discouraged. And yeah, that is GG, crumble. Okay, so what we could have done a bit better, I guess, is cut the Var guys, because they're not doing jack. I really should have not bring Var guys. I never had a good experience with them at all. Maybe we might have a Widow rematch later, who knows. But yeah, looks like the Frankenstein Vampire didn't do too bad with all the Flock of Dooms, but yeah, just took too much damage from the arrow fire, and one of the Var guys almost earned back their worth, the other not so much, because these one jumped onto the Way Watchers and did some damage, and jumped onto the Wild Hunters of Kurnis. Vargolf died because they just have no unlucky leech. Good effort. I guess it's decent effort. My build could have used some adjustments, to be honest. Even if Yeah, even if yeah, I definitely could have used a better build here. Like maybe I can just cut the 2 Vargos. I never had a good experience with them, so I'm just not gonna use them ever. And then bring a Blood Knight, and then cut the Sword of Anti-Heroes and bring a Charm Shield. That probably would have worked better. And then cut these. I'll keep the spears because they seem to did okay in dragging down the enemy units. I think I'll do this in the future if I need to fight vampire count, fight as vampire counts against, yeah, against Wood Elves again. Now let's see if we have a round 3 bracket up yet. Yes, we do. Oh, we're no. What is this RNG? Okay, dwarves versus vampire counts in the round 1 isn't too bad. Round 2, vampire counts versus Wood Elves, a little bit cursed, but I think I did all right. But then, we are in for a horrible time, everyone, because it is Nurgle versus Vampire Counts. Welcome. Welcome to the pain of 2 grindy factions. This is gonna be hell for everyone, including you guys. Including both the players and the viewers. So, yeah. Enjoy, everyone. Alright, let's see what. Looks like our opponent needs to wait a bit, so we are gonna cast another battle for now. Let me just quickly have a look. Do we have a quick one? Okay, oh shit, there's a Dwarf versus Wood Elf battle. That is gonna be another curse one. Okay, we have a quick one, I think. Let me just... File size, yep, this one should be quick. Oh, makes sense. Very fast army. Oh shit, yeah, that makes sense. These are 2 very quick armies. Yeah, very speedy, like very speedy and fragile Beastmen versus very speedy and fragile Dark Elves. Not that the Dark Elves can't bring a tanky army. They just decided to go very light armor and fast. This one, fast and furious. This is the 2 armies today. For the Beastmen, played by, let me check, Kuryu. We have a front line of Slangors. They are actually pretty well. They're a pretty good unit. I had a pretty horrible experience with them in the early access, but then it seems like they've been adjusted properly, and then they seem to perform decently these days for their cost. And then they're backed up by a bunch of Angkor Raiders, a shit ton of cavalry in terms of the Sandagors, throwing axes, one of them the Grukus of Wolf's Run, and then a bunch of regular Sandagors and the Sons of Gorus. Great weapons, Sandagors with magic attacks. And leading the army is Malagor, the Dark Omen. And on the other side of the battlefield, we have the Dark Elves, led by a Supreme Sorceress of Death with only Spirit Leech on a Manticore. We have the Scourge Runner Chariots and some Dark Riders for mobility, a front line of Witch Elves backed up by a shit ton of Doomfire Warlocks, Kawan Knights. And yeah, that's a very fast Dark Elf army. So yeah, fast and furious today, boys. We'll see what happens here. Let's fast forward a bit, since there's no skirmishing phase until the Scourge Runner starts firing. Firing into the Sandagors, chipping away their models, but the Beastman just keeps pressing forward while the Dark Elves kite back, doing some pretty decent damage to those Sandagors. And a couple... Oh, that's an unlucky Doom Bolt hitting the top of the tree instead of the actual unit there. This is the risk of running Doom Bolts. You never know what it's gonna hit. And especially if it hits like scattered units. Like sometimes it would just hit one unit model outside of the entire formation. Like fuck that one particular unit model part specifically. So yeah, just not a whole lot of damage even with the lesser Doom Bolts cast from those Doomfire Warlocks. Spirit Leech though spammed onto Malagor the Dark Omen, and Malagor doesn't have any answers to that, so he is on the timer. And the Beastman needs to start rushing the enemies down ASAP. But yeah, the Cynagors are pushing up, but that exposes them to a flanking charge from the Dark Riders and Doomfire Warlocks, and they are pinned. So more Cynagors. These ones with great weapons, charging in, but here comes a counter charge from those Cult 1 Knights. On in the front line, the Witch Elves are absolutely slaughtered by the Slangors. What is happening? Have they not popped their Witch Brew? They did not. Oh no. They might not have a chance to use it even. As the mobility engagement is going on very, very intense. Yeah, anyways, you can see the Doomfire Warlocks and Koa Knights all taking significant damage on the far side over this side, though the Gurkhas of Wolfsrun took a lot of damage, but not before routing some Dark Riders. But those are just Dark Riders, while the meat of the... Oh no! Angkor Raiders being forgotten at the back! Oh, Witch Brew finally turned on the Witch Elves, and they're evening the score there. But they're still more expensive than the Slangors, I think, so it's not exactly a great trade for them. You know, on a one-on-one exchange rate. And yeah, looks like the Doomfire Warlocks and the Koa Knights, though, with the quality advantage, managed to win out in those melee engagements there, especially on the other side where the Koa Knights and Doomfire Warlocks got the jump onto the Cynagors. On infantry, engagement-wise, the Witch Elves have managed to turn the tide, although there's still one very healthy Slangors around. But yeah, it's a very fast engagement. It's 3 minutes in, and we are kind of in the late game already. As there are only one Cynagors left. Well, there are a couple Cynagors left. The Gurkhas are still fighting in melee, as they're also decent in melee combat. Slangors duking it out. These ones are very healthy, so they're duking out against the Witch Elves who have used up their Witch Brew, and they're duking it out just fine. However, some Witch Elves managed to push into the Angkor Raiders, starting to drive them back, and these Angkor Raiders here, with nothing to protect them, they are left to the mercy of these, well, Crow and merciless Dark Elves. They're gonna get hunted down soon then. Looks like the Dark Elves are pretty much in control of the battlefield here as their mobility starts overwhelming all those engagements. And Malagor also hunted down by those Spirit Leech spams. And that shall be GG with a victory belonging to the Dark Elves. Very nicely played by Nurgle's PA there. And very nicely kited with their Spirit Leech spams and a nice counter-charging from those Doomfire Warlocks and Koa Knights. A little bit of spell kiting, but like at the same time the Scourge Runner Chariots are also kiting, so even in land battle standards, this is still within the rules. So yeah, very nicely played by both players, and we shall move on to our game against... Yeah, against Butcherbird. This is gonna be cursed. It's gonna be a battle against Nurgle. Alright, Vampire Counts versus Nurgle. This is gonna be cursed, so we shall see what happens. I guess I'll have to bring the Krog Vampire Lord again. I'm just not gonna bring... I might still need to bring one Vargeist, just because we might have to chase down the Angels of Decay. And these are our only... I'll bring a Terrorgeist instead! If we're gonna be disappointed by the Flyers, might as well just bring the more expensive one and see if we can get some high rolls in RNG melee or something. And see what happens. And what else? Just get some skeletons. Oh, yeah, just the Terrorgeist. I do need... Not a Necrog Lord, and we don't need a Necrog Lord. Why does this stuff... This is like a build I think the default build was like 5 different versions ago. Cause yeah, that was when I was trying the Necroc Lord with the Purple Son of Zerus idea. Didn't really work, but whatever. Storm of the Night and Hunger, Curse of Undeath turn off, and Charm Shield in case they're spamming. In case they're spamming those devs' head. Yeah. We still need to bring these just cause freaking devs' head spam. We'll bring a couple Banshee again this time. Praying to. Okay, this is a von Karstein Vampire Lord, so he's not as reluctant to praise Nagash, I guess. Okay, so yeah, praying to Nagash that they are not bringing too much of a aerial kite or anything. But it's probably gonna be. It's gonna be Kugath Plague Father. How do I fight it? How do I fight him? That? And then maybe a couple of Grave Gods. And then I'm out of money. Alright, whatever. We'll just go with it and see what happens. Oh, actually, I forgot about one thing. What I do need is a Balefire and Unholy Lowstone Corpse God. Totally forgot about these bad boys. Vampire counts do need those quite a lot, I would say. Alright, I think this is still within limits. Yeah, I think it's fine. I'll turn off charm. I guess we can afford a little bit more infantry if we don't bring the spears. Yeah, we'll do that. Alright, 5 gold left over, and let's see how this goes. Langos being better than Norscan Marauders and Elven Devotees is certainly a choice. One I would never make based on lore. I read someone saying that they beat Berserkers too. Really? Fuck. Why must we suffer this matchup, O Sigmar? Blame challenge RNG. I literally did not. I literally have no idea literally have no control over the matchups after round 1. I can shift the matchups in round 1. That's it. Everything else is just a challenge deciding according to the scores of different players to get the Swiss rounds decide on the winner in the end. So yeah. Oh wait, Ludero is on 2-0 right now. 2 wins, 0 loses. Will he continues to be the best Conquest Mode player? Oh, actually I can't say that because Tequila already hosted his tournaments over the weekend after New Year's. But yeah, can we say he is the best player on our channel in 2026 so far during this week's after this week's tourney as well? We shall see. But yeah, unfortunately, boys, we're suffering the unholy matchup of Counts versus Nurgle. I probably should have brought a Mortis engine, but whatever. I wasn't in the mood of thinking about that bit. It's probably gonna be dead from Dev's Head anyways, and javelins and whatnot. So might as well just bring none of those. We shall see what happens. We shall see. What I'm worried is they're gonna air kite me. And I have no answers to that, so. I mean, originally, if I don't bring a von Karstein Lord, which is why I have a von Karstein Lord right now. And we are gonna just spam Flock of Doom if necessary. And a few single entities to fight Kugath, I guess. Banshees are probably gonna get slapped, but they are the cheap, cost-efficient single entity fighters for us, so bringing them either ways. And also they punch through armor and has magic attacks and whatnot, so whatever, we're gonna bring them. Oops, shit. Let me just adjust those units. Okay. One ungroup, group. these two. Actually, these two should belong together, and then these guys and everything else. Lock formation. All right, like let's go. Probably not gonna end well. There's no aerial kite. There's no. Oh wait, what is this impassable terrain there? But there's a lot of ground kite, which I don't have any slows for. No ideal. I can screen with skellies, I guess. Okay, at least there's no Kugath plate fodder, and which is, I guess, I'm glad. We just have to skelly and zombies screen at this point. Alright, you fly back. Bats fly up. And see if you can harass them a bit. You guys pull back and then just eat some throwing axes. It's good for your health. I want you to eat those throwing axes. It's good for your health. Oh, wait, where are you going? Where are you going? Give me those throwing axes. Oh, okay, here it comes. Here comes. Here comes the rot knights. Alright, let's just jump them. Since they're on the ground already, might as well go and chill them up. Might as well just storm of the night these guys. And give them a taste of what slowing feels like. I don't really care about the ground engagements. I just want to kill them. Why are you not... You guys are not doing any damage here, guys. Come on. Do something. I slowed them, I get some attacks on them, but they're not doing jack shit. That's also annoying. Alright. That was a waste of abilities. I even got them slowed down, damn it. Alright, let's just start pushing up ahead a bit. Oh. You guys are still tying down those plague drones. We can start pushing them. And since you guys are there, might as well do a bit of flock of dooming. Now we're getting some hits in. Alright, bats, you know what? Turn around and start going to after those. We have enough air units dealing with plague drones. Just let the plague drones getting tied down, whatever, I don't really. Alright, you guys go and fight that, and we have the infantry to help. This is a mess. Wait, when did I use a breath attack? Did I just accidentally use it? Oh, wow, okay. These guys are not having a good time in front of those Dev's head. That was not great, not ideal at all. What are you doing? Why are you all the way there? Alright, anyways. Oh wait, no, I haven't used the breath attack. I used the Storm of the Night. Just breath those guys. You can pull back a bit. I probably should have brought the Charm Shield again. The bats are all gone. They're fucked. I can drop a breath attack on these guys. Good damage, good damage. That is some pretty good damage. We can jump them then. Alright, start pushing, I guess. Vargolf is dead from the Dev's head and throwing axes and stuff. Alright, go and jump them. You pull back and drop a heal on yourself while you have the units to screen. And at the same time, Storm of the Night, so you can slow them down while you fly back in the skies or something. Oh, you guys go and start push up. Screen them. And fly away. I don't have any flyers left, so you have to keep screening, I guess. Alright, hit them, give them a slow, fly away. I'm getting poisoned, so not ideal. Alright, she's pretty dead. Oh shit, what happened to you, Terrorgeist? Oh, you got surrounded by a lot of... Oh shit, that is not ideal. When were you surrounded like that? Yeah, that was my mistake, I guess. Give them another drain. Start pulling up into the skies. Oh shit, they shattered! How dare you shatter like that? Oh, these are two sticky, nasty frickers. No, I think I got outplayed very nicely by Butcherbird. Yeah, the kite I have no answers for. My build was more again, it's too geared too much towards fighting box build. Yeah, box build. I was not prepared for a kite once again. Bane of my existence, kite. Better players kiting the shit out of me. I can't even take these guys down, can I? Just drop a Storm of the Night, drop down on the floor. Right, at least we can try and get some breath attacks out, right? Right? Get back in the skies. Oh, they use up all their throwing axes. That's so bad. I just let them use all their throwing axes and stuff. That was, okay. We don't have enough. Oh, it's just breath attack once and then die. And he goes down. 100 HP. Somehow not crumbling. Let's fight some Nurglings on the floor and see what happens. Can we get some hunger healing? Oh, there are more throwing axes coming in. Another volley, he's toast. We're getting some healing because of the hunger, but I don't think that matters at this point. Damn, he's died. He died. Yeah. Well played to my opponent. Very nicely kited me down to the death. Like, the Lord survived for a while, but we have no good answers to their kite ourselves. Tried screening, but yeah. That in the end didn't quite work out. Maybe I should... Maybe it's a Hax Rave time. Maybe I should Hax Rave? That was a really nice breath. That was a really nice breath. Shame I didn't have anything to follow up on the rest of the rotting riders and stuff. Yeah, I did manage to kill them. They still heal capped with almost half their models intact. So yeah, that was not ideal. That was not ideal. And yeah, the corpse guards are just scattered all across the map. Didn't really do their thing. Is that a Sorcerer Lord of Nurgle? He smacked the shit out of my poor Banshee earlier. And also he has some insane healing, so it's hard to kill him as well, being on a horseback and all. GG's on my opponent there. Very nicely played, and yeah. Maybe I should have brought Hex Raves. It's actually a pretty good answer to especially chill guys. It's a pretty good answer to armor piercing kite, like the throwing axes. Their range is kind of short, so you can just get them inside the aura of the okay, hold on. This is yep, there we go. Alright. Very nicely done by my opponent there with the Nurgle Kite. And yeah, the Exalted Plague Burst got some really good valor, annihilating my poor Vargolf, who got nothing, almost nothing at all. Somehow didn't manage to kill these plague drones earlier, despite me dropping a Storm of the Night, which is kind of weird. Didn't get any good RNG, I suppose, and the Terror guys as well just kind of get trapped there. I probably should have just cut the Vargolf, since I have a lot of single entity killing power anyways. Cut the Vargolf and bring the Chill guys instead, and bring some more Hexgraves and stuff. And no, Dire Pack. That would have done well. The Grave Gods did really well against the enemy cavalry though, so they're fine. They really slap. But not the rest of my army here. As the Von Karstein Vampire Lord did really good with the Flock of Dooms and Breath attacks. The problem is that the rest of the army couldn't really protect him from the throwing axes, which is why I really needed those Chill guys and Dire Pack. Our Rot Knights have magic attacks, would be hard to use Chill with them on the field. I agree, but if I can get a charge on them, I think it would have still been okay. The main thing is to use them to catch and kill those skirmishers, right? I can probably do something else with the Rotting Riders, like the Breath attack on them, maybe. Or bring some Halberds over. But yeah, it's illegal 5 SE built cheese. Wait, I think this should be legal, right? I've got the 3 single entity monsters, and then these two aren't single entity monsters. And wait, shit. Is it illegal? Let me just... Fuck. I think oh, fuck. It is. I should know this by heart now. Why did... I think I'm... yeah. You know what? I'm just not gonna bring magic in the next round as punishment for myself. I should know this by heart, and I still did. I still fucked that up with the 5 single entities. Yeah. I can't really ban I can ban myself, but it's gonna leave one player without an opponent in the next round, so I'd rather not do that. But what I can do is I can just not bring magic as the vampire count and see what happens. This is a very basic mistake. I should know this by heart, and I shouldn't have made it. Not gonna lie. So yeah, I'll just bring no magic in the next round as a punishment. Why no necromancer stroking his rod, by the way? Oh shit, I should have done that. But yeah, I can't. Bro, Fruit Rose has been 4 single entities since IE launch. Yeah, that's the problem. I somehow just kind of forgot it. I don't know why. I should again. I know I should know this by heart and should not have done that rule break myself, and yet I still did. So it's totally on me. I'm just not gonna bring magic next round. Don't worry about it. Now you'll probably lose belly even with magic, so do not limit yourself. It is VC. Is it that bad? I mean, I know Vampire Counts isn't exactly in the best position right now, but I don't expect this to be that bad. You cheated, but honestly, Butcher Bird is OP, so it's fine. I mean, I still lost, so I guess it's not a big deal for now. I mean, I lost both rounds when I brought 5 single entities myself, so it's not like it made a big difference even if I cheated. Okay, this one is 4 single entities. This one is a win, and it's a legit win. Everything else is like, I cheated, but I still lost. I'm a shit player. I cry. Just don't bring Race Dead or Invocation of the Hag. I won versus Post Karanak Corn with that one. The fuck? How? How? Anyways, we're fighting Skavens next. Skavens can also, you know what? Skavens can also blob against vampire counts. Oh shit! It's gonna be a double Hellpit Abomination if they actually do the blob build. So yeah, we shall see what happens. Okay, I don't bring Race That. I don't bring Invocation of the Hag. That's my but I will bring Winds of Death. That is something I do want to go with. Anyways, I am yeah, I am gonna join the tournament. Wait, what? Oh, it's a different code. Never mind. Do we join now? Yes, we do. You have to only take bad spells from now on. Yeah, I'm gonna bring Winds of Death. I'm not gonna take Raise Dead or Invocation. That you happy? Right, platform cost 9 it is, and as I mentioned before, I'm gonna bring Winds of Death. Nobody can stop me to do it. Curse of Years, let's go. And Gaze of Nagash is too good. You know what? Gaze of Nagash is too good. We are bringing Van Hell's Diamonds Macabre and Winds of Death. These are the spells I'm gonna use this round. And I'm skipping the Hunger, Beguilement, another couple Banshee again. I'm gonna bring one Vargolf. We're not going for single we're not going 5 single entities again. No, never again. No, not the same mistakes. And we're taking Crypt Goals to try out the Vanguard deployment build. What else? Crypt Horrors are gonna lose, so against everything, honestly. So yeah, we're not gonna bring them. Mass Infantry again. Cut that Vargolf. Let's go Black Coach. What else? Skellies. Do I really need to bring Varguys this time? I don't really want to though. Coach are better than Vargolf in this matchup, but need to micro it. Yeah, you see, I suck at microing vampire units for some reason. I don't know why. It's just vampire counts units is like the bane of my existence. I always forget to micro them. That's the problem. Yeah, let's bring a bunch of Crypt Goals, because why the fuck not, right? Infantry is gonna get slapped pretty hard. But we still maybe want one Graveguard. Nah, let's not bother with that. Fire Guys is just gonna get Howling Warp Galed, isn't it? What else? We have no money. Yeah, they die. Vargolf are gonna die, but we'll see what happens. We are going max Crypt Horrors. I mean max Crypt Goals, and then what else? One gold. Oh wait! We can squeeze out more funds. We can squeeze out more money for stuff. And can I bring another Crypt Goals? I think I can, right? Sorry, I'm gonna quickly check for rules and see if they're in the 4-unit cap or a 5-unit cap. The 5-unit cap, let's go. We have enough money for one more Crypt Goal. Alright, let's go. But we can get the Hunger, but we don't really need it now that we don't really need it with Blood Drinker and Karstein Ring. So you know what? Let's go Vanguard, baby. And then they're gonna start boxing, and then I'm gonna die hard. That's what's gonna happen. Also, we don't have zombie summons or invocation. Alright, because we have a lot of Vanguard deployment units, we are gonna Vanguard deploy them. Wait, what? Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. They don't stalk. Oh, do they? They don't stalk. They. Oh, wait. They do stalk. Oh. Oh, wait. That's a very big open. That's a big open map. Like, they're deployed so far away, I can't get them to into combat fast enough. Not ideal. Maybe we can just hide some units here, hide some units there, and then see what happens, right? Yeah, just shove another unit in there. We have a lot of units in the trees. Hopefully they don't get spotted by, I don't know, dogs, wolf rats. And then we have a black coach. It's probably not gonna end well. I can't imagine in a single scenario it's gonna end well at all. Alright. Alright, good luck, have fun to my opponent. I don't even know how I'm gonna play this with this kind of army, but we shall see. It's a melee, but you know what's gonna be good for Winds of Death? These guys, but I need to lock them down for a chance. Oh, the Ferment Tide build. Oh shit, I don't have. Oh, I also don't. I was prepared to deal with the Vanguard deployment's not gonna work. There's nothing to ambush. Like, everything can beat the shit out of those ghouls. So it's all down to psycho charging with Vargolfs and, more importantly, Winds of Death. Ah, well, we shall see what happens there. Is there any skirmishers? This is a very Clan Wars build, and yet they brought a kick claw. Right, let's scatter them, because there's gonna be a Flensing Rune coming at some point soon. But yeah, we will need those Winds of Death to do things. Let's see, do they have Howling Warp Gale? I can't see anything. No Howling Warp Gale. Warp Lightning. No Flensing Ruin. Interesting. Okay, I guess I can group them up again. There's no need to scatter them. There's no anti-FI power. There's no lockdown, so I can just keep flying things above their head. The problem is the Crypt Ghouls have nothing to fight. Like, they're just gonna die horribly against all the Storm Vermins. I don't know what to do with that. But it is a very nice meme build, I would say that. It's probably gonna win too as a meme build. It's not that of a meme against Vampire Count, I guess. But yeah. Oh wait, I don't have any decent healing. I just have to fight them with... Alright, let's see what we can do with the Winds of Death. We'll deal with those Skaven Slaves, no problem. It's the Storm Vermins. That's what I'm scared of. I probably should have just lock group and attack, but whatever. Oh, I forgot we have these. We have this. The Black Coach. Our anti-infantry magic. Alright, let's go and jump them. Might as well start doing some damage to your front line and keep our zombies alive, right? Alright. My coach, that way. Start pushing. You fall back. You pull back so the zombies can screen for you. And then... where are you? Where you at? Alright, go there. We have enough winds of magic. Our opponent, they did not respond to it. Oh, beautiful! Oh, did they line up? Oh, look at this! Look at the beautiful wins of them. I mean, is it gonna be enough to win the game? I have no fucking idea, but is it beautiful? Hell yeah, it is. Alright, let's just go keep fighting the next ones. We can just keep chasing those down. Oh, you know what? We can go and chase those down. Oh wow, you're kind of stuck, Black Coach. You're kind of stuck there. I mean, I don't have. Go and chase those down. Alright, chase those down. Bet. You guys can move up now. Just keep activating these. Alright, you guys go and fight those Skaven slaves, I guess. Just keep moving up. Don't stop. Just keep moving. I'm saving up for another Winds of Death, in case you are wondering what I'm doing with my caster right now. Do we have bats? Yeah, we have bats too. Just going to chase that down. And we still have some infantry anvil that we can use. There's still a lot of storm vermins though, so I don't know if I have enough stuff to kill them all. That is gonna be the major question right now. And Black Coach, I totally forgot to micro it, and it got slapped pretty hard. Does it even activate a bunch of its buffs? I have no idea. Jump them. Vlad is fighting, thriving in the fight, just fine. Alright, Bats doesn't have any use other than just chasing routed troops. So you guys just keep chasing things down then, I guess. It's pretty damn stuck. Every time. Yeah, okay. Let's see how much we charge. Most are charged up. So we can just jump some storm vermins now. Oh, sitting in the storm vermins for a few seconds just killed them. Yeah. Set time to be a Vargeist. They suck. I'm surprised they didn't bring Flensing Ruin. Not a good charge from the Black Coach, but whatever. We'll take what we get. Yeah, we are holding on against the Zonvermin just fine with Vladdy Daddy. Ooh, the... Back up! Back up! Run! There we go! Nice! Bait and switch! Lucky we actually saw that Warp Lightning coming, because I didn't actually pay attention. I normally wouldn't be paying attention, and we'll absolutely get slapped. Oh shit! Run! 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 Get out of there! Get out of there! Fly away! No! Fly away! Alright, we good with that engagement. Let's just go and fight something else, I guess. Do we have enough for another? We do have enough for another Winds of Death. There we go. There we go. Come on. Come on. Come on, baby. Let's go. Okay, we got some good damage. We killed a bunch of stuff. And Master of Beguilement, just to keep those attack low. Oh shit! Warp Lightning's coming. Run! Run away! Ow! Hurts. Get a Psycho Charge in. Nice damage though. That routes off the Storm Vermin, and we can keep them on the run, I think. If we just keep those flyers nearby. Jump them. They're on the ground. Wait, hold up, hold up, hold up. We don't want to drop that in just yet. We want to... And you're stuck again, Black Coach. Why? What the hell? Yeah, jump down. This is really testing my shitty micro. Like, my micro is bad, but like, this is stretching it. This is stretching it. Alright, alright, I think Vlad is holding on just fine. Let's go and slap those guys. We can get another, I think we can get another, yeah, we can get another overcast Winds of Death. We can get one more overcast Winds of Death. But that's about it. I hope I can finish. That's enough to finish the rest of the Storm Vermin. Yeah, you guys just keep chasing routed troops. I need you guys to heal. Felbutts, just get out of there. We don't really need you anywhere right now. No healing, just Winds of Death. And somehow that worked out because my opponent brought out in a heavy infantry spam. I got lucky. I got lucky. Yeah. This is not fun. Just to keep those single entities bunch up together and Vlad. It's well, Vlad. If my opponent brought Flensing Ruin, then Milky Way brought Flensing Ruin would have been the end of my single entity spam, I think. But not having Flensing Ruin to worry about, that really helped. Ooh, ouch. The kid is really doing his thing here, shooting his random stuff all over the place. But we can probably get another Winds of Death if needed. Ah, shit, my opponent did have the capture point. Wait, where's the capture point? Oh, there. Okay, that makes sense. Can we break them in the end? We shall see. That is also running out of HP. Okay, we need an Alpha Strike to keep everything bunched up and unable to escape. Okay, we did a lot of friendly fire as well. But we also do a lot of damage. And I think that's army losses. GG! We got lucky there. Our opponent didn't bring Flensing Ruin and... Alright. Oh, Milky Way was playing under the impression that I don't bring any spells. Okay. That makes sense. Explains his build. Okay, that makes me feel a bit bad. Shit. If he wants to do a rematch with no spells, I'm happy to play that though. But yeah, Winds of Death actually worked for once. But yep. Hold on. Just replying to my opponent there. But yeah, the Winds of Death hard carrying this game against the heavy infantry, I suppose. Yep, let's see. But it looks like they rather not bother with a replay and seems to be fine with the game. Okay, so I guess we can just proceed with the tournament results. It's not like we're gonna win the tournament anyways, with 2 losses. I think it's most likely somebody would just win 4 straight games, and then we shall see. Ooh, interesting. Okay, might just announce the winner on Discord first, and then we will go into replay casting mode. But yeah, not much to say about unit values other than crit goals really sucks and don't use them in general. Nurgle OP. Alright, let me just quickly announce the winner on Discord, and then we will move into replay casting. Oh, and we have a lot of replays coming in too, so gotta sort that one out. Alright, furious typing ended. And where's your wooden spoon for last place? Wait, hold on. Let me just check. Oh, my opponent has a little bit of just message. Let me just finish messaging my opponent and wrap out the whole 20, and then we'll start casting replays. I've got all the replays downloaded. It's just ready. It's pretty much ready to go. Alright, we have a lot of replays today, so buckle up everyone. We are gonna go through some fun and intense multiplayer action. Give me a second, let me just find where did we stop at in terms of replays. That was from last week. Right. We played that. We haven't seen that yet. That's a lot of spears against Nurgle and not enough javelins in my opinion. Wait, Who even bring Norskin Giant this day and age? There's no point bringing them anymore. Just bring the Chris Atten. My God, that was interesting to say the least. We've seen that. Yeah, we've got a lot of games. I might actually hop off for a minute or two at some point, because I can feel my stomach is growling and my inner ogre is calling at me. I might need to eat something before I starve to death on stream. But right now, I'm still gonna keep going for now. But yeah, Spartan, don't worry about losing in these tourneys. Sometimes I lose 4 games straight too. So like, it's also not because of you are particularly bad or anything. I mean, I don't know what's your levels and anything. It's just, it's very common to lose hard. There's no like ranked matchmaking here. Like we have high tier players and new players mixed in this tourney. For newer player tourneys, I think RTK's new player conquest tournament is back up on the weekends, or at least Tequila has been casting some new player conquest tournament, so you can definitely join those and just test out the waters against other new players yourself. Because these casual 20s during the week, it doesn't have any, like, say, skill level restrictions or anything. So you got, like, veterans who have been playing for years, and then you got newer players who just started. So the skill level disparity is a bit large in these ones. So don't feel too discouraged playing in the 20 here. I think losing is also part of the fun of figuring out the meta. So yeah, definitely just play more, and eventually you get a hang of it and get the wins as well. Anyways, we are going back into the 20. Been playing since mid-late Warhammer 2. My ability does not reflect it though. Dude, I started playing like late Warhammer 1. And I still lose most of my battles most of the time. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, dude. Like, the years of playing has no bearings on actual skill levels. I still micro like shit. But anyways, enough about me being shit. For the units here, we have the Norskins going with a line of spears, backed up by 2 familiar warriors with great weapons. I think they are kind of overkill, like, in terms of gold investments. I think their main value comes from magic attacks, super tanky, even against missiles, armor-piercing missiles, with from the miss ability and heavy armor. And like, paying extra for anti-large is just not worth it, because they're not gonna do good damage anyway. So your main anti-large tools are always skin wolves, and it seems like they do have skin wolves. So it's like an overkill to just bring anti-large familiar warriors. You want them for their armor sundering, magic attacks, tankiness, and that's about it. Like, you don't need them for anything above that. Yeah, that's just my personal opinion, by the way. So don't take it with a grain of salt. But I never take the great weapon variant, always just the basic ones. Skin wolves, armored versions on the flank, Beast of Tashnar, and Ice Wolves on the far side as well. And double Norskin Giants. I just don't really like. What's the point of them? What's even the point of them anymore? With the Chris Atten having self heals, like, there's no point bringing Norskin Giants. I respect that choice, but what? No spells? Damn, that's a brave soul. Spotify, fair. You have my respect there. Right, yeah. Spotify never brings spellcasters, as always. A front line of Nurglings backed up by Pestigors and 3 freaking Chosen. This is a melee showdown, and Kugaf Flake Fighter as well, with Noxbringer to shut down enemy javelins, I suppose. But there's no javelins, so we shall see what happens here. Kugaf coming in with a Fleshy Abundance and Stream of Corruption. That's basically it. I guess Nurgling Summon and Plague Father's Oration as well. Plague Father's Oration. Words of purpose and encouragement from Kugaf himself stirs his warriors to continue spreading disease in Nurgle's blessed name. I didn't even realize the demons are good at encouraging mortals. I guess in terms of, yeah, I guess in terms of Nurgle that makes sense. Like the demons of Nurgle are a relatively more loving bunch from the toxic love of Grandfather Nurgle. They make some sense here though, although I'm sure Ettins are better. We're good here pre-DLC with Javelins. That actually makes sense with their very high weapon strength of 700, but I still say Cursed Ettin is just way better with their self-heals available. I assure you my build is 100% serious. Yeah, I mean, I don't see how this beat the Javelin spam, but other than that, yeah, it's I would say it's a pretty good build in this context. Pasticle is charging into Skinwolves and got slapped on the charge impact. Everything just slamming into each other, and it's just a slugfest. And Famirs are doing alright, smacking down those Nurglings, bypassing their magical physical resistance with their magic attacks. The problem is the triple Chosens are gonna stand there forever. And yeah, the Norskins don't really have an answer to that. Kugav is just sitting there draining, and everything is suffering from that direct damage. And Norskin Ice Wolf jumps, overwhelmed the Pestigores with just the sheer numbers, and then jumps in to kill another Pestigore, but Northspringer and Kugav is there just to slap them down. Yeah, the Chosen are just holding just fine with nothing really to threaten them. Ooh, this is a bit rough. A massive break at the back line there. Norskin Ice Wolves breaking down, and Skinwolves routed as well as a result with the friendlies routing nearby debuff. And suddenly the Norskins looks a lot thinner in numbers. We're gonna fast forward here is a bit of a slugfest grind and stuff. And Marauder Spears are slowly being hacked down by all those Chosens. And with the single entities jumping into the center, the Familiar Warriors are losing pretty badly due to the supreme melee prowess. Armor piercing, better melee attack stats, and just punching down those Familiar Warriors. And the Chosen still holding on just fine. Familiar Warriors, without their anti-lodge as the regular variant, just doesn't have any answers to break through that 66 melee defense on the Chosen. Familiar Warriors themselves getting debuffed pretty hard with their vigor levels being low and weapon damage debuffed by poison. So yeah, things are not great to say the least. And and the Slime Trail -5 melee attack on top of that. So the Famirs are dead. The infantry and wolves as well suffering pretty badly in this grind fight. There's nothing to chase down, nothing to hunt down and route it off with those ice wolves. The important things here, the Chosens are not going to route, and there's no opportunity for the ice wolves to chase them down. And so, and finally the Norskins remember to capture the point, but that's too late now. It's down to the Norskins giant trying to smack down Kugav Plague Father. Not that it matters. Fleshy Abundance to heal himself back up, and he's still constantly healing. He doesn't have passive heals, right? Yeah, he doesn't have passive heals. But that Mortis Engine, in fact, drains down all the infantry and ice wolves. And then these two Norskin giants doesn't have enough oomph to punch through all these Chosen and the two single entities there. So Norskins will be throwing in the towel, giving the win to Nurgle. You can see it's pretty much Kugav and the Noxbringer and carrying the game with the damage, and these Chosens did pretty well fighting in melee. The Chosen just holding the line, buying more time for Kugav and his Mortis Engine to work. While the rest of the Norskin army here not doing a whole lot, especially not the Famirs. Oh, the Skinwolves did pretty well. Unfortunately, just nothing else really earning back their value. Would take Corn Warriors with Halberds and Corn Ghosts together against factions that really rely on sized large units be good? In general, I think Corn Gores alone are enough. Halberds Corn feels a little bit overkill though. Unless it, I guess against, no, definitely not against Ogres. Cause, yeah, cause those Lead Belchers are gonna destroy them. Like, Lead Belchers are so good at deleting heavy infantry, it's not even a joke. Like, it's not viable at all to bring Yes, absolutely not viable at all to bring corn halberds against them. Alright, next up, Skaven versus Beastmen. I always stick them into Ogre Kingdoms, just have the 650 gold flying unit. Wait, 650 gold flying unit? Oh, you mean the Furies? I don't think Furies alone can stop the Blood Belchers. Because there will be their own Blood Belchers and Saber-Tusk packs to stop your screening, right? So, I feel like it's still a bit rough. And personally, I would bring more than one Lead Belcher, so I guess you will probably have enough Furies. But yeah, I think when I was playing, oh, it's been a while since I played Ogres. Maybe I should play that next week. But yeah, even from before, like Furies alone are not enough to stop the Lead Belchers. I can always screen them out with Nobbler Trappers and Saber-Tusk. But yeah, double Hell Pit this time. This is going to be rough here. They are very scary. For the Skaven forces of, I think that's Milky Way we're seeing here. Front line of Skaven Slave Spears backed up by some Clan Rats. And then just a ton of Motor Monsters and some Doom Flayers. Red Ogres, Doom Flayers, and double Hell Pit Abomination. That's going to be a scary monster mashing combo. Oh, these Skavens are melee rushing. Holy shit. Alright, and leading the army is a Gracia of Plague. Just on foot. Nothing special here. With Vermin Tide and Dreaded 13th Spell. On the other side, for the Beastmen, the front line of Angor Spear Herds and a bunch of Slangors. We are seeing some Sanagors and a ton of Angor Raiders on the field with the Butchers of Kalgengard and Feral Manticores. Double of them, in fact, in disguise. And leading the army is Malagor the Dark Omen. This is the... Oh, there are some Chaos Warhounds in the forest as well. And a ton of Sanagors already on top of them. Now the kill... no, these are Wolf Rats, not Warhounds. Sorry. These are Wolf Rats. Poison version. Yeah, I don't know why I was saying that. But anyways, the Wolf Rats were just holding on, maybe waiting for an opportunity to jump on the opponents. But then they might actually get jumped by the Sanagors. Yeah, leading the army is Malagor the Dark Omen with Flock of Doom and Darkness. So a lot of Doom on the battlefield. We shall see what happens here as we move into normal speed. But yeah, you can see the Wolf Rats and the Sanagors are kind of tangled up together. These Wolf Rats are kind of being given up. Just getting a charge onto the Sanagors and just left them be. Because Slangors are nearby to quickly finish them off. They're just trying to do as much damage as possible before they go down. And it looks like there's a second unit of Wolf Rats being routed right off the map too. They're so close to the white line. Any routing will send them right towards the edge. And Sanagors getting some pretty good kill already. I mean, they didn't really do... These ones didn't do a whole lot of kills, but the others did. Anyways, Skaven Slave Spears and Clan Rats are pushing up, and Doom Flayers are moving in. There's a lot of Doom on this battlefield, actually. But yeah, Doom Flayers are unstoppable right now. There's nothing in the front line to really pin them down. They're just flying straight through the Angors, while... Oh, the double Hell Pit Abomination smacking down the enemies. Here, this is where the Angor Raiders comes in really handy. They don't have a whole lot of damage, but their numbers are there, and they are very cheap and cost efficient as a missile and can accumulate some pretty good damage if given enough time to really just shoot down those Hell Pit Abominations there. Slangor is holding line and cleaving through those Skaven infantry just fine, buying more time for those Angor Raiders to keep shooting, and yeah, the Butchers of Kalkengard just in the front line holding the line, but yeah, it's not great for them. They are pretty much alone against two Hell Pit Abominations. There's one Manticore coming down to help. The Sanagors can really come over and reinforce this front though, just to keep buying more time for the Angor Raiders to shoot. The throwing axes are just trying to whittle down the enemy monsters on the flanks. Ooh, looks like the Red Ogres are pushing up, and these Sanagors who have charged down some enemies, not doing a whole lot of damage so far. Yeah. They're trying to run away, but they're taking some damage from being caught unguarded. Anyways, Manticores and Butchers of Kalkengard continues to fight on, but they're running out of health. The Butchers, at least. The Manticore is still fine, but there's not a whole lot to stop the Hell Pit Abominations to push for the Angkor Raiders at the back here. Already you can see some Doom Flayers at the back line, and there's nothing to stop them. Witches of Kalgangar are too busy with the Hell Pits, and Slangors are coming in. Oh no, this is not great. The Angkor Raiders, the best bet for the Beastmen to take down those Hell Pits, will be silenced for now. Oof, this is a bit rough. At least the Red Ogres are dealt with, but more Skaven Slave Spears are coming in, and the Hell Pits are still doing pretty fine. The Butchers of Kalkangar has retreated, still having 8 models. They have plenty of regeneration left to go. But again, the problem is the Beastman DPS is gone. Balance of power is slight. Oh wait, yeah. Slightly in favor, ever so slightly in favor of Beastman for a bit, but then it's equalizing. Help Flock of Doom onto the Skaven Slave Spears. Wait, yeah. I might have made a mistake in casting earlier. But yeah, the Slangors are pushing up and driving back the enemy Skaven Slaves, and also earlier the Red Ogres as well. And then you can see Sandogors diving into the back line. They're shutting down Red Ogres. And Angkor Spears piling in. So the Beastmen are trying to secure the back line here. But one of the Angkor Raiders have already been shattered. The other 2 are also still en route. Oh, it looks like the Doom and Darkness is coming in really handy now. As one of the Skaven Slave Spears is on the verge of routing, maybe this will be enough to push them over the edge and do a mass rout. Something wicked this way comes as Malagor dives into the group, using that -4 leadership to finally push those Doomslayers and Skaven Slaves over the edge, and they started routing. The problem again is still these Hell Pit Abominations with nothing really to answer. As the Beastmen just don't have a lot of good units to fight these large single entity monsters. Butchers of Kalkangar is maybe one, but they are down to half models, so like, yeah, their damage output and fighting prowess is more than halved. So yeah, we shall see what happens here. Balance of Fire is slowly edging in favor of the Skavens. I do agree, because the Hell Pit Abominations are constantly healing, while the Beastmen only really have the Butchers who are quite tattered already, still getting any heals. And here comes a Dread of 13 spell right on top of the Sandogors, dumping down those Storm Vermin in the middle of the battlefield. Yeah, just really trying to use the spell here before there's no more opportunities. Slangors coming in to help fight these Storm Vermins. Not that it's gonna matter anymore. The armor is the armor of these Storm Vermins are too much for them anyways. If you take Ogres next week, can you take some unloved units like Gorgers and Yetis? I can probably try, actually. It would be funny to bring the Yeti build I made from a long time ago once again. But yeah, we shall see here. Slangor is being pushed back by the summon Storm Vermin. And Malagor the Dark Omen trying to pick whatever wins he can get, but it's not great, I would say. Angkor Raiders have returned, but there's nothing to really protect them, and the throwing axes Senegors are running out of ammo. While there's still one half health Hell Pit Abomination, the other took some damage, maybe like 20% HP damage throughout combat, but he's already almost healed back to full health, like just 20 HP away. And he is 100 HP away from full health. So I think the Skavens have this one. Yeah, the single entity spam is just too much here. Yeah, too powerful for those beastmen to deal with. Now, the beastman decides to just kind of kite a bit here, do some shooting with the arrows and throwing axes, do some psycho charging, but in the end, with the Skavens holding that capture point, and the beastmen unable to contest it, they are trying their best to dislodge those Skavens from the capture point, just that there are too many Skavens holding the ground and they're unable to do so. And yeah, the Hell Pit Abomination and the Flayers really carry the game there, driving through those enemy infantry and shutting down those archers. And yeah, smacking down the Helper Abomination, smacking down the Witches of Kelkingard with the 2 Helper Abominations as well. Let's see. As for the Beastmen there, unfortunately the Angkor Raiders got shut down. The ones on the right at least got shut down pretty early with Red Ogres disrupting them and all. The other 2 managed to get some value, earning back their worth, but unfortunately there's just nothing to really stop the Doom Flayers from rushing in. And the Senegals not having exactly a good time here, as they lack the armor piercing to punch through the armor on the Doom Flayers. Throwing Axes did a little bit better, but yeah, they probably... I don't know what the beast... Hold on. Probably one way to deal with these are to bring Razor Gore Herds. They have armor piercing, they have mass to stop the Doom Flayers, do some damage, and they can still be decent against a more regular... against other Skaven build. Against a box build, they can probably just try and charge into weapons teams, use their armor piercing to punch them down. Against kite team, they're decent mobility anyways, and against a melee rush team like this, they can try and stop those Doom Flayers themselves. Wait, we've seen that. We've already seen that one. Oh, we might have some duplicate games, so I might need to clean them up a bit first, and then we can keep casting. Oh no, this is going to be another cursed matchup. But yeah, we shall see what happens with that one. Skaven vs Empire. Eastmen, Ogre Kingdoms, Empire, Dark Elves, North Elves versus... Yeah, I think we are pretty good here. Alright. Cast one more and then I'm gonna get some snacks before I come back to cast the rest. Right, Empire versus Ogre Kingdoms with a lot of skirmishing firepower. Alright, the Empire coming in with a pretty skirmishy build here. Just a very cheap front line of spears with shields, and then everything else is like mobility, skirmishing, and long range damage. 4 Outriders in total, and the Black Lions ready to really kite down those pesky ogres. And then other than that, we have a bunch of Empire Knights providing some mass and mobility. And on the other side, for the Ogre Kingdoms, shit ton of Ogre Bulls and Nobblers. Are we seeing Nobbler Trappers or Pigback Riders? Nope. Saber Tusk packs on both flanks. Actually, some Nobbler Flingers on the field for skirmishing. They're kind of shit, so I don't really pay attention to them. We have some more Mornfang Cavalry providing that armor-piercing anti-large, as they do have great weapons in their hands. Saber Tusk packs for even more mobility. And 1 Powder Guts. Very solid choice of armor-piercing firepower from the Ogre Kingdoms. We shall see what happens here. But I might actually, personally, I might just bring four Lead Belchers, as they have more than enough firepower to counter-shoot those Outriders. The problem is the Black Lions, I guess. But you can just keep pressing them with Ogre's mobility or something. But yeah, there's also Bright Wizard on the side of the Empire army, coming in with Burning Hand to clear out the Nobblers, while the Ogres are coming in with Gold Fang Man-Eater. Yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna get demonetized on the stream if I say his name, so I'm just gonna... It's probably more of a Twitch thing, I think. But yeah, anyways. It's better safe than sorry, I suppose. But yeah. Goldfang Man-Eater is already taking a shit ton of damage from all those repeater rifles.
Outriders' damage output is nothing to scoff at, especially when you have a bigger hitbox. Saber Huspacks also being whittled down pretty hard by those Outriders there and lured forward with the Rampage effect triggering. Wait, did the Ogres not bring any magic? Burning it onto the Nobblers in the front line. Things are not great for them. Oh, these Nobblers try to dodge. Oh, I thought the Burning Hand it's gonna curve into them, but nope. Looks like they managed to dodge that one perfectly. But yeah, the Outriders are still a pretty annoying issue. Nothing really to counter fire at them. The Nobbler Flingers just don't have quite enough range, while the Empire Knights are nearby, just routing those Saber Huspacks who were rampage earlier and were unable to be controlled by the red side of the battlefield. The Outriders continues to use Skirmish and Kite, as the Ogre Bulls are being pinned down by the spears in the front line there. But Empire Knights are slowly gaining upper hand on the left flank there, just chasing down enemy Saber Tusks, eliminating their protection on their firepower unit. While over here, Empire Knights are being charged by the Moonfang Cavalry and one Saber Tusk pack, not Moonfang Cavalry. And yeah, they're taking quite a lot of damage from those anti-large armor piercing. And ooh, looks like a Hunter Snare. Yeah, Hunter Snare pinning down everything in the vicinity for a bit there, and Outriders were able to do a shit ton of damage to those Ogre Bulls. Goldfang Maneater is suffering heavy damage as well. He's unable to catch up to those Outriders, so he is probably better off to fight something else, but there's no cover for him right now. Completely exposed to the point blank fire from all those Outriders. Yeah, he is in big trouble. Flingers fires into the fray here, not that they have enough damage to make a difference. They're just very weak missiles after all. And Empire Knights routing off, gonna chase down those Ogre Bulls there, as the Outriders routed them off and whatnot. We might actually fast forward a bit here. As the raw out of Griphites totally didn't highlight them. They didn't do a whole lot of damage anyway, so nothing too important. I don't think we missed anything important. Powder Guts can do some lowering fire, and they did some decent kills. Very good damage over time. They were just poking off enemy units. I suppose a lot of the Knights and Outriders as well. The Outriders didn't really get touched in melee, but taking so much damage already, Slingers help, and certainly the Powder Guts as well. But Outriders are here. They are there to shower the enemy with bullets, fill them with lead, and this is this is the pain that the Powder Guts are feeling right now. And on top of that, Marcus Wolfheart shooting into these monsters' infantry. Alright, a bit more of a fast forward here. The Nobblers are quite tattered, but there's still a full health Moonfang Cavalry on the far side, running down the enemy mobility earlier. Now returning to battle. Can they turn this battle around? We shall see. These Nobblers trying to pressure those Outriders have been broken off, and the Outriders once again has free reign over the battlefield. There's just no mobility there to contest them. Maybe outside of the Moonfang Cavalry, but they're way too slow to make that actually happen. Only 60 speed. So yeah, the Powder Guts are firing back though, so that is a good news for the Ogre Kingdoms, but they also became a great target for those Outriders, and they are being showered with the repeater rifles. And down to the very last Ogre. Can he be finished off? Probably not. And returning with one model left. Another Hunter Snare though, just pinning down everything in the vicinity, making them free targets, easy targets for all those Outriders, even some regroup runs. And yeah, I think that's gonna be GG, boys. We'll fast forward a little bit more, and yeah. The Outrider firepower is definitely not something to scoff at. Having the repeater firepower, able to fire multiple shots in a single volley, and seems like their accuracy has been updated recently. No longer missing as many shots as before and getting a lot of good damage. As for the Outriders, yeah, Outriders, you can see a lot of good damage. Overall, Black Lions, 2,900 gold worth of damage value. Has it? Yeah, it's definitely been firing all the way till the end game. Staying away from the Ogre's touch and just using its model piercing, model penetrating shots to great effect. Wolf, yeah, Marcus Wolfheart is doing alright, and the right ways with the two burning heads were pretty dang good as well. While the state troop spears, well, they're state troops, so don't expect them to do much, right? Now for the Ogre Kingdoms, there is a Butcher of Beasts. I just missed them. Kite with AP, a Kite game versus my poor Ogre Kingdoms. Yeah, Kite with AP is definitely pretty strong. Like, Kite General is a pretty strong play style if you know how to kite properly. Like, there's a reason why the Sky Cutter regular version without the Bolt Thrower is way better than the Bolt Thrower version of the Sky Cutter. Like, there's more control, more freedom of choosing targets, and there's less range, I guess. It's not the best thing in the world, but it's not that bad either. You want to go close to keep shooting anyways. Anyways, Ogre Kingdoms here, yeah. The Lord and Nobblers and even some of the Ogre Bulls didn't do much. One of them got 1,000 gold. I don't know how that happened, but they definitely earned back their worth. Fighting till the late game and whatnot. Yeah. I don't know. Ooh, Pottergust did alright. And Sabertusk pack as well. Great Weapon Morn Fang. Hunting down enemy missile, hunting down enemy mobility units, but yeah. Not quite able to kill everything off. After all, they only have 2 unit models, and the Outriders are much swifter, much more agile than them. Oh wait, shit. Misclick. It's going full Nobbler units rank 9 with Nobbler artillery fireball and anything? I don't think so. You probably need the actual Ogre units, especially the strong ones, to make a difference. Right. Scrolled way too far down. I think we've seen this, so we played this. Norsca versus Ogre Kingdoms, that's it. Maybe in the Tudom full Nobbler army rank 9. I guess it helps you get more units on the field, but then again, the best you can get is like 20, 40. So there is an upper limit for your Nobbler skill level, for your Nobbler power level. I don't think it's an... Yeah. I don't think it's viable in a general multiplayer land battle or conquest. But anyways, let me just quickly grab a snack, and then I'll be back for more games. Well, guess we're gonna reload because the battle was kind of playing in slow-mo. Or we can pause it and just keep going, honestly. Not much happened so far, I don't think. Let me just check. Text off. Mic's on. Yep, we're good to go. Actually, let me just hydrate. Almost made it into combat already. But we haven't. It's almost. We haven't yet. So it just came back just in time. Now, for the army build here, Norscan versus Ogre Kingdoms. And are we seeing more giants here? Interesting. Oh, hold on. Wait, why are the light belchers not firing into the spears? What have they been? What have they been doing? No! Look at all the range wasted. That would have been enough for like at least a volley and cut down these Marauder Spears HP by half. There are two lead belcher. There's one lead belcher here, so at least they can delete like half of those Marauder Spears. Yeah, that was unfortunate. Definitely needed to fire a little early. But anyways, let's look at the army build. Norscan's the front line of Marauder Spears and backed up by a bunch of Vermeer warriors with great weapons. Again, I guess in the context of going against Ogre Kingdoms, this makes more sense with the anti-large. But Miss Stalkers, the more elite version of Vermeer warriors with, well, stock. And yeah. Well, I don't think they have anything else. Yeah, they just have the interesting thing is that they stock and Vanguard deploy. Oh, and cost terror. Interesting. I didn't know to do that. Anyways, great weapon, Vermeer warriors. The terror might come in handy because they can scare away the nobblers. But yeah, 4 Vermeer warriors and Saber Norscan Ice Wolves already jumping onto some Saber Tusk packs. While there are Kurgan Horsemen with great weapons ready to pounce on the enemy backline with their devastating flanker trait. And Norscan Ice Wolves. Oh, I think... Once again, Spotify not going with any spell support. The Great Shaman or Sorcerer of Death just hiding away. But yeah, I think the Kurgan Horsemen being on the Norscan roster makes this a much more awkward matchup for the for the Ogre Kingdoms. It's already been a pretty bad matchup for them due to the existence of skin wolves, javelins, and stuff like that. This just made it even worse, having the ability to overwhelm the enemy. Like, the problem with the Ogre Cavalry is that they are short in numbers, right? And they are very easily surrounded. And surrounding enemies with devastating flanker trait is exactly what the Kurgan Horsemen excel at. So, yeah, I think this is going to be a bit awkward. But anyways, Saber Tusk pack got charged by the Ice Wolves and got absolutely obliterated on charge. Very unfortunate there. All the rest of the infantry and Ogre Bulls are pushing forth. Oh wait, I haven't go through all of the Ogre Kingdoms built yet. Ogre Bulls in the front line, they're a line of Pigback Riders and Nobblers, and then backed up by some Nobbler Flingers, already being caught by some Ice Wolves. The Lead Belchers, oh, they were busy turning around to shoot at the Kurgan Horsemen. I guess that's not a bad idea, but these Man-Eaters need to turn around as well, otherwise they're gonna get devastating flanked. Gold Fang Man-Eaters and Saber Tusk packs at the backline guarding them. Some Saber Tusk packs already got jumped by Ice Wolves and dying. And Ogre Bulls are trying to commit to the front line, but they're not gonna beat the Vermeers. That's gonna be rough. Yeah, with a Slaughtermaster Great Mole leading the army and a Giant as well. All right, let's see what happens here as the Man-Eaters. Oh, yep, they're turning the right direction. They're charging in. The Kurgan Horsemen did have an attacking order, and they're getting charged and shot to the face. But good news is that the Lead Belchers can't penetrate cavalry models anymore, so they're not gonna take that much damage, and they get a charge onto the Lead Belchers. They don't have the flanking or the rear charge, but they're still very good melee combatants and absolutely annihilating those Lead Belchers in melee. Yeah, that's pain. The Man-Eaters managed to dispatch some Kurgan Horsemen, but they have to turn back and deal with these Kurgan Horsemen. And they managed to delete them in one charge, but they have their backs turned. Can the Kurgan Horsemen make it back in time? Nope, never mind. They're still getting smacked. But yeah, Gold Fang Man-Eaters and Ogre Bulls managed to beat back the Ice Wolves, but the Familiars are holding on strong. They're absolutely punishing the enemy Nobbler front line. The Nobbler, Pigback Riders, and the Giant are barely holding everything together. Although the Mist Stalkers are taking a lot of losses as well, mixed in with inundated with so many enemy units, and the Man-Eater Great Weapons are also in the vicinity to fight. Yeah, the Gold Fang Man-Eaters are coming in. Oh, there are 2 units of those. Okay, this is going to be a great boon for the Ogre Kingdoms here. Beast of Tashnar jumped onto the Lab Belchers trying to shut them down. Did some decent damage, but the Gold Fang Man-Eaters and Ogre Bulls are there to push them off, and they will be driven back, leaving 5 Lab Belchers alive. Not a whole lot, but still better than nothing. The Kurgan Horsemen, there are still some Kurgan Horsemen lying around. Maybe they can deliver a rear charge here or there for some devastating flanking. But yeah, overall, the Familiar Warriors are holding on just fine for now. Oh, favored by the Matriarch. It's the Familiar Noble. There's a Familiar Noble. Is there buffing all the units in the vicinity with plus 24 melee attack, allowing the Familiars to trade a lot better into the Ogre Bulls and Gold Fangs, Man-Eaters and whatnot, getting a lot more melee attack, but they're also blobbing pretty dang hard there, so not ideal for them as well. Maybe these Kurgan, they need one good flank. All they need is one good flank to break the Man-Eaters, and everything will fall. But they just need that one good flank. Do they have the units to do that? We shall see here, as the Kurgan Horsemen are still very busy trying to clean up the enemy units at the back line there. They clean up some Pigback Riders, but seeing that the Lab Belchers are once again exposed, decided to go for a charge, but that earned the ire of the Saber-Tusk pack, and they themselves got countercharged and will be shattered, still leaving those 5 Lab Belchers in the fight. Looking back into the front line, the Familiar Noble got slapped pretty hard by that Giant. And yeah, the front line fight is kind of even right now, but the Norskins are slowly losing. They need one good flank. All they need is one good flank. Damn, the Great Shaman's... he's on foot, never mind. But yeah, all they need is one good flank. Like, you break a unit, starts the chain route, and everything else, because affected by the rear charge, leadership penalty will also start wavering in route as well. But alas, that is probably not going to happen here. The Man-Eaters do have immune to psychology, and that keeps them in the fight a lot longer. They are duking it out well, very well against the Familiar Warriors, despite being outnumbered significantly, and enemy having spear support as well. Oh, looks like there might be a flank from the Mist Stalkers, but they themselves are being kind of targeted by the Saber-Tusk packs. They need to get there, get a rear charge, get the flank. They need to get a brick. It looks like the Familiar Noble went back in for a second round and beat the shit out of the Slaughter Master with his anti-large bonus. But the Mist Stalkers are just not getting there. Luckily enough for the Norskins, their sheer numbers with the spears are slowly pulling through, dragging down the Goldfang Man-Eaters, who doesn't have a whole lot of armor, and also the regular Man-Eaters as well. And the Familiar Warriors held on with their anti-large bonuses. Funny enough, they didn't actually do that much damage. It is the Marauder Spears doing the majority of the grinding. And with that, there's a sheer amount of numbers advantage here for the Norskins. And yeah, and they can slowly overwhelm that Giant. But the Giant is getting a big heal as the Slaughtermaster has came back to his senses. I guess it is a nice, wise choice to just keep the Great Shaman Sorcerer at the back then. And problem with the Familiar Warriors, once their leadership goes low, they no longer will have the blessing from the miss ability, so they lose their 25% missile resistance. Familiar Noble really trying hard to go after the Slaughter Master, but being pinned down by a Saber-Tusk pack, and some Man-Eaters Great Weapons coming back. Okay, this is the end of the Familiar Noble, I guess. Spears are coming in trying to help, but yeah, not against these anti-large elites of the Ogre Kingdoms. And that Familiar Noble overextended a little bit, and that shall be GG for that guy there. I guess the Spears can continue to fight on, dragging down Man-Eaters and Saber-Tusk pack, and there's still some Familiar Great Weapons nearby, but there's still a lot of Nobblers on the field, and one very healthy Giant who have been healed by the by the butcher ability. Not fleshy abundance. Why am I saying that? Troll guts. Yeah. Devastating flanking basically only applies versus single entity since all units automatically turn to face attackers. I think the initial charge is fine. I think, yeah. I think the initial charge is still counted for at least, yeah. And that's yeah. With that, the familiar warriors are being worn down by the healing from the ogres and elite melee stats of the man-eater units, all of them having immune to psychology, so the terror doesn't work on them, even with the mist stalkers. Again, I feel like if they had a rear charge with some of the Kurgan horsemen, like if there's another Kurgan horseman or some Ice Wolves rear charging in that frontline engagement, they would have get a really good break, even a chain route onto those man-eaters units. But yeah, alas, that didn't happen. So as they were running out of mobility in the end, they were stretched very thin after all. So they just had to just grind straight against those Ogre Kingdoms units, and of course against an army with healing, you're not gonna outgrind them. If oh wow, the giant got a lot of good damage, absolutely slapping the shit out of everything in front of him. And the man-eaters as well, trading very cost efficiently with their superior melee stats. They also have immune to psychology, so the terror and fear doesn't work on them. And yeah, just trading upwards into this fight. Oh, there's only one Gold Fang man-eaters. The other is a dual weapon bull. Okay, never mind. But yeah, man-eaters, once again, very solid unit. Lead Belcher is kind of misused, I would say. Applies model to model, so basically only for the very first attack against multi-models. Ah, okay, that's kind of wasted, but I guess it's still decent contact damage then. But yeah, I feel like that if they had one rear charge, that Ogre frontline was one rear charge away from crumbling. I feel like. But unfortunately, there was no such thing happening, so yeah. Alright, cursed matchup it is. Dwarves versus Wood Elves. This is going to be tough, as the Dwarves do have shields, have long range shooting, and just outranges the Wood Elves, and yeah. We shall see what happens here. But the Wood Elves do have a kiting unit here with the Sisters of Twilight. It's awesome versus single entity monsters because SCMs can't auto turn. That is true. That is true. Especially when you get a surround on a dragon. Oh boy. I remember the pleasure guard getting a rear charge onto Aislinn in a battle I had against Anticity. I think I cast that on my channel in a replay as well. They just melted Aislinn in a matter of seconds, from half health to none. Alright, now for the army builds here, I think this is Spartan. Spartan going with dwarves, right? No, that's Sleepy. Sorry. Sleepy going with a front line of dwarf warriors backed up by Grim Dwellers, Quarrelers, and a couple grudge throwers for long range shooting, just to crush the enemy archers from afar. What else? We have Slayers guarding the back line. Looks like they're shifting the army a bit as well. Probably trying to get a better line of sight against the enemies. And yeah, the warriors for the front line. Thoric Ironbrow leading the army. Pretty standard for the Dowie stuff. Though recently I've seen a lot more Slayer Lords. But yeah, anyways, Weight Watchers for the Wood Elves, and in the skies, some Hulk Riders for some kiting. I do wonder how they would perform here, because usually they just get outranged by crossbows and just got shot down. Oh, it looks like the dwarves are trying to white line camping. That's not ideal, I would say, but it is Conquest after all, so there's nothing against it. And the War Dancers are just hiding at the back there. All the Weight Watchers are closing in. They might just get outshot by everything though. I'm gonna fast forward here. As the Sisters of Twilight are just long range shooting, slowly whittling down the dwarves. And Weight Watchers, of course, getting outshot by those archers, crossbows are not gonna just sit there and take the shots. I mean, they're whittling down the Dwarf Warriors with Sisters. This is why I don't think the Hawk Riders is a good idea. They just get outranged by crossbows and got shredded from range. And yeah, the Dwarf player is definitely just white line camping. Not ideal. And neither players decided to capture the point. Dude, capture the point! That's the whole point of playing Conquest! No! What are you doing? Okay, anyways, the Dwarves are pushing up now. As the Wood Elves are just pulling back their kiters. But the Dwarves are gonna go and camp on the capture point, and the Hawk Riders, oof, rough times. They whittled down a lot of those, quarrelers and stuff, but, and Blaze Singers War Dance is being activated, but they're getting absolutely shredded. As they approach the enemy here with their enemy firepower and stuff. The Hawk Riders needs to dive in on the ground and start fighting in melee. They can't just sit there. This is rough. This is rough. And the Weight Watchers are not in the position to provide any support either. Running low on ammo, not doing a whole lot of damage, using most of that onto stuff like Dwarf Warriors. You can see they're running very low on ammo. And yet they didn't even recover half their value. So this is, yeah, this is not ideal. It's a very rough matchup for the Wood Elves, and I think the best way I've seen people doing it, that's Wood Elves and Dwarves is close to even though, in the hands of, I guess in the hands of a player who is very knowledgeable about this matchup, maybe I wouldn't say so because Wood Elves just don't have any neutals to deal with like crossbow spam and warrior spam, and you can just bring an organ gun and just that deletes anything including monsters, infantry, and cavalry on the Wood Elf side, and Wood Elves can't really do much about it. Yeah, I mean there's not really much to say about this game. It's not gonna lie, it's white line camping from the dwarves and then slowly whittle down the archers, and then just drive their entire army into the middle point of the... drive the entire army to the middle section of the battlefield, winning the day with their sheer volume of firepower. Like, you can't really trade against dwarves as the Wood Elves in terms of range damage. I guess you can if you have something to disrupt them, like say... let me just... the Lost Silver Knights would be a good option here, just because they have some solid physical resistance to mitigate enemy damage, instead of relying on, nothing has enough armor to tank it, but anyways, Hawk Riders, maybe one or two is fine, I would say, but I feel like the main value of a Hawk Rider is their armor-piercing melee attack that they can be dropped onto the ground and maybe harass the enemy. Like, say, shut down the Iron Drakes. But I think what I've seen before in terms of army build is something like... just spam Weight Watchers to shoot everything that's not shielded, or having their shields turn, and then a couple Wildwood Rangers just to wait for when the enemy is weak enough, and then send those in and cut everything up. Sisters, not even Sisters of Twilight. It's a hard matchup, I feel like. I don't know. Yeah, neat Lost Silver Knights and Hawkeyes of Drakira instead of Hawk Riders, which are worth 0 value at the moment. Yeah, Hawk Riders just doesn't, like, they can't fight decent in melee, and they can't shoot decent at range as well. Like, they don't have armor piercing, their missile strength is shit. They just don't do anything. Like, don't bring them, man. Don't bring them. It's not worth it. But I think the common way to play this is just Spellweaver and use Soul Quench, which can, if you overcast the spell, does decent enough damage to just absolutely obliterate enemy formations at a decent, at the optimal angle. So yeah, it's not ideal. This matchup is definitely not ideal for Wood Elves. It's very hard for them to outskirmish. It's very easy for the dwarves to outshoot the Wood Elves because they have shields to protect them from archer fire. They have armor to protect them from non-Weight Watcher fire, and they have very solid counter range tools with crossbows and artillery. It's fucked. Sisters on Eagle is necessary, I guess, but you still definitely want a Soul Quench, I would say. Sisters on Eagle makes sense, actually, with their basically the only artillery of the entire Wood Elf roster. But I would say you definitely still want the Soul Quench. Otherwise, you can War Dancers and Dryad's Rush. This is where you're gonna eat a bunch of explosive in the face and die with the War Dancers and Dryad Rush. I don't like that idea, personally. Alright, next up, Skavens versus Empire. And we are seeing, of course, Boris Todbringer on the battlefield now. It's a pretty standard Lord pick in this matchup, and I assume the Deathcaster is here for Doom and Darkness. And we are seeing a Hailstorm Rocket Battery, but not the Sunmaker. I would always advocate for bringing the Sunmaker instead of regular Hailstorm, because it shoots much faster, and it definitely can use up more ammo before, well, it dies from enemy attacks, artillery and stuff. Yeah, I advocate for a Sunmaker. Highway Vigor is second best Lord for sure. Can't get Soul Quench with Sisters, unfortunately. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, you don't. Why do they not let the spell singers sing high magic? Come on, man. What else should have that? Anyways, army builds. The reason Sisters is necessary because they kill one RT model per volley. Oh, okay, that makes sense. That is fair. That is fair. So for the army builds, I guess you can after that Fog of Doom things, with the Beastcaster. Anyways, for the army builds here, Spears of Shields and Free Company Militia with more spears protecting the Hellstorm Rocket Battery, a bunch of Outriders, and a ton of Knights, including the Zindler's Reichsguard, Regiment of Renowned Reichsguards who can Vanguard deploy, just at the back there. Probably just trying to check if the Skavens are gonna ambush them from behind. Empire Knights, Reichsguard, more elite cavalry here, and yeah, that's basically for the most of the army here. Of course, Boris Todbringer and a Deathcaster, Amethyst Wizard with Spirit Leech and the Fate of Boon at Doom and Darkness as well. For the Skaven, the front line of Skaven Slaves, backed up by a bunch of Doom Flayers, a few units of Warp Lightning. That's an overkill Warp Lightning artillery regiment if I see one. 16 Warp Lightning Cannon models on the field. Holy shit. The Empire is not winning this artillery fight, I don't think. Clarion Spears and Red Ogres. Yeah, leading the army is a Kick Claw. Milky Way or Sleepy? That's Milky Way, I think. Alright. Theoretically, the Hellstorm Rocket Battery have more range than the Skaven Warp Lightning Cannon. So it should fire first. But it's not shooting, though. It's not... Just use your ammo, man. It's not like you're gonna... It's not like you're gonna use up all the ammo anyways with a regular Hellstorm Rocket Battery. Just fire! Just fire! Alright, Sleeping One with Dwarf today. Yeah, exactly. We just saw in the Dwarf battle too. So anyways, Warp Lightning Cannon shooting, but not shooting at the Hellstorm Rocket Battery. I guess neither is in range of either. So just shooting at whatever they can get their hands on. Man, just use the Hellstorm Rocket Battery. You're not gonna outshoot the hell. It kicks Zap. Just delete their infantry in the front and then allow the infantry to push straight for the back line or something, man. Oh, the Kizap's coming. They're going after those. Oh, also one thing. Hellstorm Rocket Battery in general have shit accuracy. which is why you want the Sunmaker, because it has better accuracy, better reload, and shoot like 3 volleys of ammo in a single volley. So it uses up its ammo faster for the same damage output, and it does way better damage because of accuracy benefits. Yes, you're paying more money, but you get to use all your ammo a lot faster, and you get to do actually more damage with more accurate shots. Like now, they only barely use like 2 volleys. For Sunmaker, it probably would have used like a fourth of their ammo by now, and they lost 1 model as well with the Warp Lightning Cannon blasting them. Just use Sunmaker, man. It's more expensive, but it's worth it if you want to play Hellstorm. Anyways, mobility are pushing in, but that is exactly what those red ogres are there for, to screen. And just pinning down the enemy Reichsguard and Empire Knights and Doom Flayers on the field as well, and absolutely hacking through those armor of this Empire Knights. They're still trying to push through and go after those Warp Lightning Cannons, and actually caught the Kick Zap Zap. But how much of that Hellstorm is still operational, I don't know. Actually, 3 models. It's not bad. And Empire Knights quickly breaking those Kick Zap Zap with the help of rocket fire power. But now the Warp Lightning Cannons are turning around to absolutely blast the hell out of Todbringer, as he has been locked down by Howling Warp Gale, unable to move, while the Empire Infantry has been basically driven back by the Doom Flayers, Skaven Slaves, and Red Ogres combined. Zinler's Reichsguard also being stopped and hacked down by the Red Ogres here. Boris in big trouble. Kick Zap Zap also stopping him from using his active abilities and whatnot. Don't think he has any though, so it doesn't really matter. Now he's going after a Kick Claw. Interesting choice. I guess he wants to snipe out the enemy Lord. But Flensing Rune plus those crossfire from the Warp Lightning Cannons means he is still in big trouble for now. As 2 of the artillery is still online. Actually 3 might be still online. Maybe just 2. So this third one is shut down by Empire Knights. But yeah, Boris is getting hit hard. He might have healing, but a slow trickle heals of regenerating health instead of a burst heal. So his HP losses is way above his actual healing capacity, and a Flensing Ruin. A couple more shots and he might just go down. At least another unit of Warp Lightning Cannon has been shut down, so he might still come back. Oh no, this might be it. Oh no, 400 HP. He's still there. He's still there. But this Warp Lightning Cannon is still firing. Nothing's stopping it. Oh, the Amethyst Wizard going in. He needs to just fight. Oh, that's it for Boris, I think. Oh, that did not hit, and he's still healing. He's close to a white line though, so he might not come back. That Amethyst Wizard needs to jump in and shut down the Warp Lightning Cannon, no matter the cost. Because Boris is not going to come back if he takes another hit. Oh, at least the Reichsguard are pushing in. They're, being a regiment of renown, they're really holding it on. The Kick Claw is getting drained, so he is kind of on a timer because of all that direct damage. But the Skaven's infantry fight is mostly successful. Whittling down, basically driving back the enemy front line. Oh, another few shots, but Boris dodged it. The Warp Lightning Cannon didn't succeed. But yeah, the infantry fight for the Skavens have succeeded with... oh, there's no music? Glacier Lake is a reason I banned Glacier Lake. Not that I don't think it's even on Conquest. But yeah, I don't do Glacier Lake in multiplayer anymore because it's too small of a map. There's no space for kiting at all. So there's no point play. Like certain factions are absolutely fucked on that map. So no, we're not doing Glacier Lake anymore. But yeah, Hellstorm Rocket Battery didn't do enough to earn back its worth. Reichsguard and Empire Knights tried their best to try and shut enemies down, but there are just too many Skavens to counter them. Especially Doom Flayers, really nice counter against the Empire Knights. Sunders their armor, breaks their armor, breaks through their armor with armor piercing, and has enough mass to pin down cavalry and whatnot. While the Outriders didn't do a whole lot, just kind of got stuck on melee infantry and just got grind down as well. That was a bit of a mistake on the micro from Drugash, I would say. But yeah, that was a pretty rough one for those Outriders. Glacier Lake only tournament next week, I heard. I mean, you can start a vote on the Wednesday Faction Wars channel, and see. I'll see how many people vote on it and agree that it is a good idea. If there's more than 6, if there's 6 people or more wanting to play that tournament, I will host it. Feel free to feel free to host the vote. But I'm not taking responsibility for that one, man. It's gonna be a curse. It's gonna be a cursed tourney. Too restrictive, almost impossible not to be on the white line. And in Conquest, corner camping with artillery is viable because the point is so close to any corner on such a small map. Exactly. Like, the map is so small, there's no space for maneuverability. There's no space for cavalry to do their thing. They can do cycle charging, but that's it. They don't have, you can't really flank properly. There's even an impassable terrain in the middle of the freaking map, making there even less space to work with. You know, it's like a very small domination map. There's an impassable terrain right in the middle of the fucking lake, and make it like there's not enough space as is, and and with that impassable hole in the middle, like, anything that wants to flank around will have to go through a narrow passage, and when both sides want to flank, they have to do like a frontal fight with in melee, try to like break through. So it's just not great, man. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Anyways, what else with sometimes delete units that pass slightly wrong. I didn't even know that. But that sounds very much like what they would do. Given weird things happening in C8. It's garbage in so many ways, it's almost funny. Yeah. I mean, it's very good for one thing, and one thing only, which is unit testing. You know, in early access, when the unit testing mod doesn't get updated, because, well, that modder doesn't have access to the DLC, to early access. Like, I don't have the one-on-one mod available for unit testing, so I would always go to Glacier Lake or Crossroads, one of them. But Crossroads is a lot bigger, so usually Glacier Lake, and just use that to test units. That would actually work a lot better, because of how small the unit is, how small the map is. Nobody needs that map. Where poll? Yeah, use it every game for unit testing. Exactly. Wednesday Faction War channel. You can start that poll. I'm not gonna start that. How much used the leg recently in a tourney? Oh no, what happened? I'm curious about what happened, but I'm not interested in using it. Unless you guys vote for it. That's a different thing. The power to the people. Even if it if it brings us down the line into hell or something. But yeah. Now, for what army builds here, we have a bunch of Wood Elves, a front line of Eternal Gods and Dryads mixed in, backed up by a shit ton of Glade Gods, Hackbane Tips, and oh, that's a shit ton of Hackbane Tips and Starfire Shafts. Is that another 12 unit of archers? That actually might be the case here. What, for 11 units of archers? A little bit less, but it's close enough. And leading the army is Drycha, and that's about it. This is as campaign build can get. As campaign playstyle as a build can get. Yeah, front line for the let's see how does Vampire Coast takes on this campaign build. Zombie Pirate Gunnery Mob here, they're all pistols, so they got outranged and get shot in the very first second. Deck Droppers, Bombers, Felbats. Yeah, they're also gonna get shot to death by the 12 units of archers, and Night Terrors, Mongols, and Scurvy Dogs with more Felbats. And yeah, I think this army is just gonna be deleted by archers. No offense to Somir here, he's a great player, but build-wise, I don't know, man. Like, this is a lot of archers, and there's also way stalkers shooting with arrows of Kurnis. Yeah, I think that's about it. Mind if I fast forward this? I don't see how the Vampire Coast can win this. It's the last samurai charge. This is the last samurai charge. Everything's gonna get deleted by archers. Like, there's not enough cavalry there, not enough mobility trying to, like, shut down. Oh, summon, Damn Knights, Aaron summon, shut down 1 archers. Felbats dropping in. Salazar Diafine charges straight into the enemy archers. And the the bombs are actually doing work. Okay, I underestimated them, as the Glade Gods are a little bit too busy, like turning around, shooting at something else. Deleting those damn Knights Errant. Felbastel getting deleted by point blank Hackbane tips. And the bombs are actually doing good work. Setting down 2 archers. Okay, I underestimated the archers. Scurvy Dogs and the Night Terrors have moved past the enemy flank and starting to push into the enemy back line. But there's not enough mobility to keep these Glade Gods on the run, as these hounds, these Scurvy Dogs and Night Terrors are very much needed to keep pushing into the enemy back line there. But the bombs are slowly dropping. No pun intended. Mongols and Scurvy Dogs held in reserve, very wise choice. They're keeping them in the back there, making sure they don't get shot and killed. And wait, what? That was a summon Malevolent Dryad. I feel like that was a bit of a mistake. It should be dumped here, not there. But they're being summoned on the field, so they're gonna just move forth to and stop the enemy mobility from pushing. The deck droppers have been shot up mostly. And Eternal Guards are moving up to and try to screen those Scurvy Dogs and the Mongols. Some return archers are coming back, and ooh, they got an accidental movement order instead of an attacking order, so they're just gonna move straight into getting killed. But overall, the Scurvy Dogs and Mongols are driving forward with the Vampire Fleet Captain trying to disrupt the enemy archers as well. But Malevolent Dryads are trying their best to screen them, and the archers are still operational. Oh, looks like shit, wrong button. Tide Call trying to thin out the enemy archers, but the Night Terrors are on their last legs. They're still some very healthy, relatively healthy deck droppers though, being drained by Malkoffs and shot by archers. They're taking more and more damage, but yeah, overall I think the Vampire Coast is faring a lot better than I assumed. This is what happens when you bring an army into the hands of a decent player, like my hands. But yeah. Archer Fire just keep firing and whittling down the deck droppers, but they have used up most of their ammo anyway, so it's not a big problem for them to die at this point. Maybe they'll lose some mobility, but that's fine, acceptable losses. But Balance of Power is still in favor, ever so slightly in favor of the Wood Elves, as they still have a Waystalker very much alive, picking off those Mongols and some Dryads on the field, and very healthy Eternal Gods. Almost seeing no action at all. The archers are being slowly shut down though, being chased off, but oh no, there's still a couple surviving here. And these might be devastating to the Vampire Coast in this kind of late game scenario, where they can't spare any more resources to chase them down. As they only have like two Mongols unit left, and two Mongols. 2 Scurvy Dogs. And all of them kind of like getting pressured by Dryads. I'm gonna fast forward this one a bit here. Mongols, the Night Terrors are still barely hanging on, using that hunger effect to replenish their HP as they are taking more and more damage, being pressured by the Dryads. But yeah, the Scurvy Dogs and Mongols are doing a good job cleaning up the routed archers, making sure they don't come back again. The problem is Salashar died. Probably got smacked by Dryad and by Drysha and Dryads. Yeah. Okay, never mind. I guess Salashar has disappeared. Unlike her damn Knights Errant, who does not disappear and are basically a reskin, basically a Knights Errant with with a blue texture. Yeah, they're just Knights Errant with blue glowing effect. So yeah, there's really not much difference on them. But yeah, the deck droppers really needs to pull back because they're under enemy archer fire. They can still use their bombs to really whittle down the enemy spears, and that's their best bet to kill these Eternal Gods. But if they get shot anymore, they probably just get crumbled to death. Do they have any more? Oh, they have Tide Call to whittle down the enemy infantry, I guess. Oh, Salashar Direfine just retreated all the way to the other side of the map. Okay, wise choice as well. Oh, they brought 2 spells. That's against rules, I think. You're not supposed to bring 2 of the same spells, I don't think. We'll see what happens here. But their opponent... So, you know we've been telling Lich every week that Slangos are OP. Look, I know they're decent. I have changed my mind on them. You can stop telling me that. I know it's decent. I don't think it's OP, but I think it's decent. Stop feeding me more misinformation. Alright, Tide Call, nice damage, but yeah, the Mongols are having a rough time. Oh no, they charged into the unit with ammo left. And the unit with not a lot of ammo left is still firing. Okay, scurvy dogs are in and shutting them down. And things are looking a little bit better for the Vampire Coast, as they are shutting down the enemy archers and preventing them from firing while reducing their numbers. Vampire Fleet Captain should probably fight this Waystalker. Oh, because you have taunt. You can lower their melee stats and just try and beat them in melee. Well, the scurvy dogs are trying to come in for a rear charge, but okay, that didn't really work out as Malkov's reduces their speed and drains their HP away. Dude, just turn the fleet captain around and start fighting. Waystalker isn't that insane of a melee combatant. Drop the taunt on him. Drop the taunt on him. Okay, Salosra Divine is here to help. Whether that's going to be helpful, I don't know. No, Charmed Effect and Song of Enthronement does help a lot. Turning this one around and doing some really good damage in return. But Dryjar is coming in. Here comes the magic damage. And oh, the Mongol on the far side is getting shot. That's not ideal. And Dryshot definitely can beat the shit out of left Vampire Fleet Captain, unlike the Waystalker. So yeah, I think that's GG. The Vampire Coast have a pretty good chance to come back, but unfortunately they just got worn down by the sheer amount of arrows still available on the field and sheer amount of Dryads and Spears. And that's army losses. Langos beat Doomseekers. Stop! Wait, do they? No! 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 Okay, to be fair, that makes sense. Because Langors have anti-infantry and like physical resistance, and Doomseekers have no armor. But no, you don't have to rub that in, and you don't have to rub it in my face, dude. But yeah, I would say the Vampire Coast tried their best. Even the bombs did better than I expected. But there's just too many arrows, arrows on the field, and yeah, just too many for to be shut down, unable. And the Waystalker getting some pretty good work done, whittling down those Morn goals. Not all the archers earned back their worth, but they did enough damage, such that the infantry in the late game managed to trade well into the rest of, and got some good damage value into the enemy monsters and dogs. Slangors are 700 gold, man. Yeah, dude, almost everybody on the planet thinks Slangors are OP at what they do. Let's like Doomseeker. So if that doesn't win him over, nothing will. No, you stop rubbing the Doomseeker. Stop rubbing the Slangor facts in my face. I know they're decent. I don't need to just. I know they're decent. You don't have to spam it. No. All right. What's next? Oh, you haven't seen this one yet, right? Yeah, we skipped the Norscan Widows. All right, let's do it again. Though Asgore was already really strong, Slangos have more bonus versus infantry on a much faster plus in our passive. Yeah. I agree with all that. It's like 700 gold unit merking a 1,350 gold unit. You know what else? What's 700 gold unit merking a 1,350 gold unit? Yeah. That's called the that's called the Poison Wing Globes versus Chosen. Anyways, like, I mean, you can't just put units who are bad at that matchup, and expect them to do well, man. Like, oh, shut up! I need to shut down Gemini on my phone. Got a new phone recently, and like, the AI stuff is just annoying as shit. I don't want to see them. I don't want to hear them. I don't want them to be on my phone. Anyways, Fort Army builds here. Marauder, a front line of Marauder Bear, man, pretty solid. Decent mid-tier infantry. The chat is just spammed with Slangor facts. I know they're decent. I know they're good. You don't have to keep saying it. Alright, anyways, I'm gonna ignore that. Rest of the army other than the Bearman front line, a ton of mobility basically. Northern Ice Wolves backed up by Skin Wolves and some Kurgan Horsemen on the far flank as well. Leading the army is Wolfric the Wanderer here with the boat. Yeah, the boat, Sword of Torgo, Hunter of Champions, and Fight or Die. And against the Dryad frontline here, the Wood Elf army going for a Dryad frontline, a bunch of archers, Glade Gods, regular ones. Durflu leading the army. Ooh, okay, interesting. As the Norskins definitely did not bring Javis, so they're gonna be in a bit of trouble. And Durflu is a treeman, so he doesn't have as big of a hitbox, and might not be as vulnerable to those Kurgan horsemen. Anyways, there's also some Wild Riders on the flanks. 4 of the units in total, but they're up against 11 mobility units, so they're still severely outnumbered. So we shall see how they will counter that. As a Wolfric is eating some arrow fire in the front. Alright, archers are firing in, but the Bearmen should be fine. They have shields. And some armor, not a whole lot, but some. And oh no, this is the problem when you bring too many archers into a matchup. There's not enough units to protect the back line there, so the Ice Wolves are able to just jump in and start shutting down the Glade Gods. With Skin Wolves coming in to help as well. However, there's one Kurgan Horseman on the far flank getting caught by the Wild Riders. Over here, though, Wild Hunters of Kurgan is getting caught by the Norscan Ice Wolves. They have no way to escape after they got hit by the Frostbite, now minus 30% speed. So the Kurgan Horsemen will be able to catch up and start hacking them down. Wild Riders over here forced to fight Skin Wolves as well, and are taking a lot of damage. On the front line, their Dry is trading evenly to the Bearmen, but the Archers mostly are being shut down and obliterated in melee combat. One Dryad is pushing back the Norscan's Ice Wolves, but Durflu is definitely protecting those archers nearby, slapping the shit out of those Kurgan horsemen by himself. But yeah, overall, the Wild Riders, you guys need to start moving. Stop standing around the white line. You're gonna get jumped and routed. But yeah, I think that's it for all the Wild Riders, as they are being overwhelmed by the enemy mobility there. There are just too many of those wolves and Kurgan horsemen. Yeah, so Dawn Player getting into land battles and conquest. What are the strongest and weakest factions right now in the game mode? I can't really tell you about it, because like easiest to play is dwarves. I can say that much, because you have you can just get a tight faction, get a tight formation, and just shoot the shit out of everything. There's also Grand Cathay, which is decent if you want like a more static build. For mobility wise, Slanesh has a really high ceiling, but also a high skill floor as well, because how fragile their units are. I would say Beastman is pretty decent. Like, there's no one single faction that is absolutely insane, like it was in the early games of Total Warhammer 3. But the weakest faction is probably, there are some pretty hard to use factions like Vampire Count, I would say. Skaven is pretty good, to be fair. But yeah, anyways, yeah, the mobility wise, the Norskins basically outnumbered and outmaneuvered the Wood Elves, overwhelming them with all their mobility. And the infantry is also, the Wood Elf infantry also lost big time, pretty much leaving only Durflu holding the line by himself. If you can't get a good sort of Torgold and some pretty good Flock of Doom spam, maybe he'll have a good chance to bring this one back. Oh, looks like he dropped his Lamentation of Despairs, but it's very weak against single combatants, as you can see here on the description. Not doing much against Wolfric, and it's down to just Durflu leading, holding his ground. Everything else is being hunted down and chased off by the Norskins. How would you rate Lizardman in the meta right now? I'm a Lizardman main in Dawn. Yeah, it's fine. It's pretty decent. I would say it's pretty decent with their tools. Pretty balanced. Just their Saurus is not very good right now. They're decent in fighting, but they're too slow and a bit expensive. So it's probably better to just spam Skinks, I would say, in terms of frontline choices. I don't know what's the Lizardman Sauruses do in Dom, but like, yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna fast forward here. Dude, stop mentioning Doomseekers getting obliterated by Slangos. I know, you're right. Anyways, with Durthu being surrounded by skin wolves, it's a matter of time before he goes down, just getting hit by anti-large attacks. And that shall be GG here. Most marked beastmen are more useful for beastmen in general, yeah, for sure. Sora's infantry isn't doing good. The Cav, on the other hand, yeah. Well, Sora's infantry isn't doing good because they're slow, they're not cost efficient. But if you pit them against like Chav infantry, they can still do fine. But who would do that, right? Like, they are just gonna get absolutely bombed to bits by artillery, shot to bits by missiles, and bombarded by magics and AoE damage as well. So just don't bring them. They're too expensive for what they do. Literally, none of them were more useful for beastmen. I would disagree with that because Pestigors are decent when you want some anti-armor, and the Tears of Nurgle is such a good slow. It's in 70% slow, yeah, so it basically leaves your unit immobile completely. Alright, anyways, let's see. Korean Horsemen, the ones that managed to get some surrounded wells, well, Skin Wolves did really well as well. Just out-trading the Wild Riders and whatnot, and grinding down Durthu. And on the other side, the Wood Elves, Durthu trying to carry the army, as the rest of his archers got basically caught and chewed up by wolves and man-wolves. Wild Rider micro is a little bit lacking, I would say, as well. Instead of pulling them back to corners and stuff, you want to keep them in being supported by the rest of your army. Especially you're so outnumbered so heavily by the enemy mobility, right? Especially against Norska, I feel like you can cut out 3 of the archers and just bring more Eternal Gods. Because they're expensive, and on top of that, you just don't have enough assets to protect all the archers in this case. Like, yeah, there are too many mobility threats from Norska for an archer spam build to work. Like, there are also like cheaper Norskan warhounds that they can bring to harass your archers as well. Okay, seen that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think these are all. Okay, let's go for a we've seen Wood Elves just now, so let's do Beastmen versus Ogre Kingdoms, and now we can do a Nurgle versus Wood Elves. Yeah. Okay, let me just check the channel, cause there are 5 votes so far on the Wednesday Faction Wars only be played on Glacier Lake. No! Okay. As I said, 6 vote. Okay, let me just pause and just mark down my words. It needs at least 6 votes. Oh wait, at least 6 votes. Okay, we'll see what happens here. We'll see what the votes ended up with, and we might do a Glacier like 20 next week. Please don't make that happen. But we'll need special rules for that then. Anyways. For the army builds here, let's see, Beastmen versus Ogre Kingdoms. Usually I would say Ogre Kingdoms have an advantage in this matchup. We shall see what happens here. Oh, I don't see any Lead Belchers. I'm a bit disappointed. You should bring Lead Belchers in whichever matchup. No matter the matchup. Yeah, even against Dwarves, because 4 Lead Belchers outtrade 1 cannon. For sure. Anyways. For the army build here, the Beastmen going with a front line of Angors and Korngors, backed up by Slangors as well. Yeah, I know Slangors are good. You guys can stop spamming spamming those facts and stuff. Minotaurs with great weapons there and providing a solid anti-large fighting power. And Senegors to harass enemy backline. 4 Senegors? Yeah, 4 Senegors. Leading the army is a great berry shaman of that with Spirit Leech and Doom and Darkness. Doom and Darkness is really good against ogres as they do not have the best leadership after all. 4 of the Ogre Kingdoms, the front line of Nobblers backed up by Ogre Bulls, Pickback Riders, and Nobbler Flingers and Man-Eaters, great weapons in disguise, a few Blood Vultures and Saber Tusk packs. There's also one giant here. Seems like the ogre player today is really liking those giants. A race here, really liking those giants in his games. Alright, let's get the battles going. Ogre Kingdoms and versus Beastmen is one of the few bad match places for Lead Belchers. No targets, very compromisable. That is true. But Lead Belchers targets are everything. Infantry to like monsters, it does well against. It's an anti-everything artillery almost. Like right now, if they're just having a standoff, the Lead Belchers could just shoot the shit out of the corn gores even. Just because it's just really freaking good. But of course, it's been a while since I used Lead Belchers. I don't know how they feel right now. So I don't know. Anyways, we're gonna fast forward a bit there. The Slaughtermaster of Beast Magic is on a bit of a timer. He does not have his Bloody Cleaver, so he's not getting any passive heals. And he's constantly getting drained by the Lure of Death, Spirit Leeches. So they need to start attacking. And also, more importantly, the Lead Belcher can force your opponent to attack you with more haste. So there's a bigger chance of them making a mistake. Iron Guts good here? Absolutely fucking not. Iron Guts are never that good. The only reason I would use them is I need more numbers to just spam max Ogre Bulls and Iron Guts. Just to get more bodies on the field. But other than that, there's no reason to bring Iron Guts in general. Their armor isn't that exceptional anyways. But anyways, Man-Eaters charging into the Minotaurs, but they are also getting shot by the Angor Raiders. Pickback Riders were a bit slow, so you can see these Man-Eaters are kind of surrounded by Angors. And this is not ideal for them at all. Overwhelmed by sheer numbers of enemies right now. But they have immune psychology, they can hold for a bit. What are you doing, Giant? Why are you standing there not doing anything? Oh, here comes the big Doom and Darkness. Overcast version hitting everything in the vicinity, forcing those Nobblers to rout, and the same goes for the Ogre Bulls there. Almost on the route. The Giant is coming in to reinforce. Maybe it'll do something. Saber Tuskbacks are going to go and tussle with the Senegors there. Looks like the Ogre Bulls have stabilized their leadership. Now still on the edge of routing, but the Man-Eaters are holding strong due to their immune psychology and whatnot. But Minotaurs on the far side, it's still trading against the Man-Eaters. These Man-Eaters have lost their battle as they jumped into the engagement a little bit with too much haste. A little bit too recklessly before the infantry support can be there. But yeah, the Giant plus Man-Eaters managed to beat back the Minotaurs. The problem are the Corngors are still there. Again, this is where the Lead Belchers would be very useful in deleting the enemy halberds. But unfortunately, there are no Lead Belchers here, so the Corngors are just chilling there. While the Slaughtermaster is completely surrounded by Slangors and Senegors. The Slangors does really well in cutting down those Nobblers, earning back their valor already. Oh yeah, Iron Guts. Another reason why Iron Guts won't be good. Corngors, Pestigors, and Minotaurs. There are too many armor piercing on the other side. And throwing axes as well. But yeah, Spirit Leech onto the Slaughtermaster, forcing him into a rout as well with a Doom and Darkness. And there goes the leadership of the Ogre Kingdoms. I think the Beastmen are pretty much in control of the battle at this point. The Beastcaster will be routed off, chased all the way to the edge of the battlefield. Isolated pockets of Ogre Kingdoms won't be able to return due to the supreme mobility of those Beastmen army. Just keeping the enemy on the run all the way to the white line. But yeah, there's still one Blood Vulture here, I guess, chasing off some routed Beastmen. But yeah. I don't see how the Ogre Kingdoms can bring this one back. They still have a Giant, but the Corngors and Spirit Leeches slowly draining, slowly whittling away his health. A Giant finally getting an engagement, but surrounded by halberds and Minos. That's not an ideal situation. Xantigos are only good because Xantigos were But even then, they were niche for Beastmen. That is true. You'd rather spend... Because, like, one Zandigor is almost 2 Sandigors, right? In terms of cost. So, you'd rather just bring more mobility than bring one slightly more durable mobility with armor piercing. Like, yeah, you'd rather just bring more. Yeah, Slangors did really freaking well, just beating the shit out of Pigback Riders and Nobblers, and even cutting down some Ogre Bulls and stuff as well. Khorngors trade really well into the Ogre Kingdoms in general. I would definitely support bringing Khorngors into this matchup. And the Sandigors, harassing the enemy backline, shutting down the enemy mobility, and allowing the Minotaurs to just focus on the front line. Although some of them didn't do too well as they got out-traded by the Man-Eater's great weapons. But yeah, I would definitely advocate bringing some lead belchers, maybe 2 units in this situation. Cut the giant, bring 2 units of lead belchers. You'll find your opponent will have a much rougher time to get those infantry into the fight. They can even shoot Minos if necessary. But yeah. That would be what I would do. Shit, forgot Kirill was on Beastman. Yeah, Kirill is a really... Wait. Yeah, Kirill is a really good player as well. But yeah. Oh wait, shit, I'm talking... Am I talking shit about race? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh shit. But yeah. Normally I would say Race is a much better player than me, but I would say I think I'm more familiar with this matchup than Race. But then again, my information is kind of outdated, so I don't know. I need to play some ogres from for a bit to refamiliarize myself with. One tonight missed the middle portion of the stream. That's Ludero. No, that's Butcherbird. Ludero got dethroned from being the best unit. Ludero got dethroned from being the best best player on this channel in 2026 so far, and it became Butcherbird maybe. Yeah, anyways. Next up, we have Empire versus Dark Elves. Last few battles. The Empire going with a line of spears backed up by 4 Empire Knights and a shit ton of skirmish cav. 4 Outriders, 2 Pistoliers, and 1 Elspeth von Draken leading the army. As for the Dark Elves, going for a very simple structure there. Just a line of Bleak Swords backed up by 4 Koan Knights, very cost-efficient anti-large armor-piercing cavalry, 2 Witch Elves, and 1 Doomfire Warlocks for spell spamming, I guess. As Soul Blight and Lesser Doombolt are on the field. Supreme Sorcerers of Dark Magic with Soul Stealer and Soul Stealer only. Okay, Supreme Sorcerers of Soul Stealer back once again. Or else from Draken coming with the Coruscating Breath. Blast. Fate of Buna, Spirit Leech, and her items to Death's Timekeeper and Dark Walker as well. And yeah, that's it for army builds. And let's see what happens here. Gonna fast forward a bit as the Empire army is gonna do some skirmishing work there. Oh no, a little bit slow on that retreat. Some Dark Riders caught the Pistoliers, but thankfully Empire Knights are nearby to quickly pin them down and shut down those fast mobility like Cav. But the problem is some Koan Knights are nearby, and that would be big trouble for those Empire Knights Armored Cav, which is why the Outriders needs to be nearby as well to give them fire support and whittle down those Koan Knights, I suppose. Pistoliers are still running. Oh, Fate of Buna onto the Koan Knights, really trying to delete those Koan Knights as much as possible. But with all the attention going on to the other side of the battlefield, the Empire army is a little bit lacking on this end here. And got caught with some of the skirmish cav, the Pistoliers. But yeah, overall, with the help of Elspeth, they managed to delete 1 unit of Koan Cavalry, though they're taking heavy losses on the Pistoliers and Empire Knights. However, the Outriders are able to turn around and start whittling down the Koan Knights there. While in the front line there, Witch Elves will be deleting a bunch of spears and Bleak Swords just duking it out against enemy state troops. But overall, the Dark Elves are winning an advantage over here. But the Doomfly Warlocks might actually be able to catch them. 3 speed higher than their opponents. Maybe they have a chance. Maybe. And this guy there, Elspeth from Draken, is duking it out with against the Supreme Sorcerers of Dark Magic. Soul Stealer, Spirit Leech, Death's Timekeeper. Death's Timekeeper, maybe? No? No? Dark Walker is turned on though, so physical resistance helping Elspeth to stay alive. But yeah, overall, okay, the Empire Knights are slowly wearing down the Koan Cavalry on this end, while on the other end, the Dark Elves are winning it pretty handily. As the sheer amount of mobility, Dark Riders and Doomfire Warlocks are chasing those Empire Skirmish Cav all the way to the corners of the battlefield. Although Elspeth and Draken having pretty similar stats. Coruscating Breath as well, just absolutely blasting the shit out of the Dark Sorceress of Soul Stealer. Spirit Leech as well, just concentrating all that damage onto the enemy Black Dragon with no cavalry nearby to support. This is a bit of... the Supreme Sorceress of Soul Stealer is in a bit of a trouble. However, on the Empire side, the Koan Cavalry managed to grind down all those Empire Knights despite their lack of HP, despite their disadvantage in HP count. And now they have turned around, ready to jump onto the Pistoliers and Outriders. This is a bit concerning for the Empire. The only advantage they have right now is their win against the Supreme Sorceress of Soul Stealer. However, Elspeth has dropped onto the ground, trying to shut down, trying to kill off Supreme Sorceress. The problem is there are Koan Knights nearby who still have their murderous prowess active, giving themselves a pretty decent boost in terms of killing power. While the Supreme Sorceress of Dark Magic managed to pull away and might actually return to the skies. Maybe she'll drop a Soul Stealer if she returns and heal back up. Right now, Spirit Leech is draining her down. Maybe the Outriders can come over and finish her off. But the problem is Elspeth from Draken is being pinned down by the Koan Knights, unable to shake off the enemy pursuit. And yeah, she might get chased down all the way to her death. Anyways, one more unit of Skirmish Cav is gone there, leaving only one Outriders on this flank, trying to chase down the enemy Koan Cavalry there. But yeah, again, the problem is Elspeth is over here and totally pinned, unable to escape with nothing to save her. So it might be a 1-to-1 trade in terms of Army Lord. Elspeth is desperately trying to get away, but she just doesn't have enough speed as a dragon. Pistoliers are being fed to the wolves there. Finally able to screen out those Koan Cavalry and bring Elspeth back into the skies. While the Sorceress of Soul Stealer has been sniped out by the Outriders. The problem... balance of power is definitely in the Dark Elves' favor though. They have the capture point, they have more armies on the field. The only problem is they don't have their lord, but Elspeth and Draken, unlike the other dragons, don't have great spells against... yeah, don't have great breath attacks against infantry blobs. So they need to do some clever skirmishing and cycle charging to have a good chance here. But yeah, Pistoliers are almost worn down completely. Some tattered state troops are still there. Oh no, here comes the Doomfire Warlocks, definitely trying to chase down the enemy Outriders, who can't fire back when they're being pursued, as they do not have 360 shooting. Spears are coming, trying desperately to screen for those Doomfire Warlocks, but Doomfire Warlocks are a very fast and agile bunch, quickly backing away, and maybe they can attack those Outriders from a different angle. But right now, the Spears are trying to screen for their Missile Cavalry. Bleak Swords are pressuring as well, but the Outriders are now aiming down those Koan Cavalry, trying to shut them down. While the Spears over here are closely nearby to screen off any incursion of enemy attacks. But yeah, this is a big army, and I don't know if the Empire army have enough oomph to wear them down before the timer runs out, right? Fate of Buna has been activated to delete the Witch Elves, trying to drain down their health. Very nice spell, but yeah, the Spears are running out of health and leadership as they're overwhelmed by enemy numbers. And now that leaves the Koan Knights free to engage and chase after the Outriders. Although there's a second unit of Outriders here, providing some fire support. So the first unit of Outriders can start running while the second unit fires in and whittle down these Koan Knights. I swear, these volley firing missiles seems to have slightly better accuracy than they had before. But yeah, anyways, the Doomfire Warlocks are still free though, so that means both Outriders might just get shut down as they are too busy running away from the enemies instead of firing. I mean, if these Outriders just keep chasing after the Koan Knights, maybe they will have a decent time just whittling them down from behind, as they do have Firewall moving, just not 360 shooting. So they can shoot at things before them, like these Koan Knights, eventually wearing them down enough to rout them off. And the Dark Elves are still holding the capture point. So time is... they need more time to win. But at the same time, they can't just leave Doomfire Warlocks to die, because that's their best bet in shutting down the enemy Outriders. We'll do a bit of fast forward here. These Fate of Buna Witch Elves are holding the ground. Oh no, another Fate of Buna, deleting another unit of Witch Elves. And now everything is under fire from those Outriders. Balance of power is in favor of the Empire now. Can the Dark Elves hold on long enough to bring this one back? They have no ways to counteract these Outriders now, and the remaining Bleak Swords are vulnerable to those terror from the dragon. Firepower continue. The Dark Elves tries to hold and are actually piling on to Elspeth and slowly whittling down her health in melee. But losing the Lord is a pretty big problem for them. Balance of power is slowly dropping, and they're despite them trying their best. 10 more seconds, guys. But, oh, army losses hit as a critical charge from all these Outriders, knowing that they need to break those Bleak Swords in time. Going in for that rear charge, applying that terror and rear charge debuff penalties onto these Bleak Swords at the same time, forcing them into a rout. They have taken enough damage from the cycle charging already and shooting. But, that one rear charge is the straw that breaks the camel's back there. And that led to a chain rout of the Bleak Swords and sealing the win for the Empire army. Very close win for the Empire. Very well played from Drugash. Very patiently kiting with the Outriders. Although a little bit of mistake in the early game, but that's inevitable when you have two armies kind of split, like two very micro-heavy skirm mobility forces split across two sides of the battlefield. Oh man, Elspeth von Draken. Such a horrible unit to fight against. We have seen 3 Fate of Bunas in this entire battle, as the battle did go long enough for the Winds of Magic to be squeezed out. And on top of that, multiple Spirit Leeches onto the Supreme Sorceress of Dark Magic. And then Coruscating Breath, deleting that Supreme Sorceress. 4,490 gold on this one lone unit, and then a ton damage from the Outriders as well. Devastating stuff. Very nicely played from both players, and yeah. But still, Dark Elves from Nurgle's PA executed very nicely. Alongside the Koan Cavalry, the Doomfire Warlocks shutting down the enemy mobility. Just that, in terms of single entities, the Supreme Sorceress of Dark Magic was not in the position to be reinforced by those Koan Cavalry, and got singled out by Elspeth and died, assassinated. Drugas scraps back, GG. Yeah, indeed. He was a great player for sure. Next up, Norskins versus Dwarves. We shall see what happens with this matchup. Clearly, Nurgle is OP and Say needs to nerf them. Yeah, for sure. For sure. But yeah, Slave is kind of corner camp. He's not entirely corner camping this time because the corner is pretty freaking far away, but he's definitely not pushing his army to the center. A little bit further away. We'll go through army builds first in normal speed because it's definitely going to take a while for the armies to make contact. Dwarves going with a front line of Dwarf Warriors backed up by both Throwers and Quarrelers. What's TTL total? Tavern League? I think it's Tactical Lich. Not sure why why that's the case. I guess it's the syllables. Anyways, Dwarf Warriors, Quarrelers, some Grim Dwellers. It's very similar build to the one we fought actually. Slayers, Iron Drakes with Trollhammer Torpedoes. Leading the army is Floric once again, and Grim Dwellers. On the other side for the Norskins, Kurgan horsemen with great weapons already Vanguard deployed, while a front line of bearmen with great weapons planning to outtrade the enemy warrior, dwarf warrior front line. But not sure about the shooting bit though. They're probably gonna get shot by bolts and bullets and cannons. But yeah, Marauder Hunters with Javis in case they need to shoot down Thoric Ironbrow. Leading the army is Wolfric the Wanderer and some Familiar Warriors. I absolutely endorse the Familiar Warrior option against dwarves, just because their missile resistance makes them durable even against Trollhammer torpedoes, right? And but this is Spotify, so he doesn't have any spell casting, and they also need that Armor Sundering to boost the damage of the Javis. Anyways, Kurgan horsemen being thrown into the back line did some good damage to the Quarrelers and absolutely annihilating these Iron Drakes. But once the Slayers turns around, they're gonna get obliterated as well. But it might be worth the money already just to delete that one unit. But I feel like that was a little bit premature to throw these units in. They probably could have been held in reserve for a little longer at the right moment to benefit the army and fight a little longer and do more damage. Slayers continue to catch up to these Kurgan horsemen. They seem to have their attention elsewhere, so these Kurgan horsemen will be routed even further away. Yep, they're routed, but they're fast enough to run away from the Slayers, so they might not die and actually come back. We have more Kurgan horsemen on this side with a bolt down the line on these dwarf warriors and some Quarrelers as well. While the Quarrelers, both floors are not shooting, but Quarrelers and Trollhammers are now firing onto the Marauder Bearmen, which they probably need to start pushing into the back line soon. Oh, there's also the Brutes of the Hound. I totally forgot to point them out. And let's see if they can get an aggressive push and get their money's worth here. But yeah, one unit of Kurgan horsemen already ran all the way back to the white line. The others managed to regroup, but losing 2 Kurgan horsemen with minimal damage done, it's not ideal. At least, I mean, they did some good damage to the Iron Drakes with Trollhammer torpedoes, but the other Quarreler only took minor damage. Wait, no. Well, the other Quarreler actually came back, and maybe they'll get run down this time. Who knows? But yeah, the other Kurgan horsemen are just kind of like holding at the back there. As the Marauder Bearmen, they are stopped by the shield wall of Dwarf Warriors and shot by bullets from Grimdelvers, Quarrelers. Kurgan horseman jumps in, tries to do a side charge, but Slayers are here to screen them off and giving them a lot of damage. Oh, the Mist Stalkers are moving up. They should do okay even against Slayers with their heavy armor. But the main concern is everything at the back there. Ooh, a little bit of a Ruin of Wrath and Ruin from Floric. Blasting some overlapped Marauder Bearmen, which is a pretty big problem here. Too many units stacked on one thing. Unable to spread out and get more damage done across the line. And Javelins are moving in, but moving in a little too late. While the bullets and Trollhammer torpedoes flying in, obliterating both friend and foe, because they're kind of stacked together. But Familiar Warriors being overwhelmed by enemy units, their missile resistance dropped below 50% due to the disabling of from the miss ability. These Mist Stalkers are holding on a little bit better, but looks like the Trollhammer torpedoes have enough damage to overcome that missile resistance, as their armor doesn't do shit against this anti-large armor piercing missile as well. So things are not looking great, despite how much I love the Familiar Warriors. But at least the Kurgan horsemen are at the back line now. It's starting to cut down those Iron Drakes. But here comes the point-blank Quarreler shots. Maybe the Kurgan horsemen can come in for a rear charge to shut them down, but it's a big maybe here. Familiar Warriors are coming back with Javelins firing into the fray, but they don't really do well in this situation, with not a whole lot of unarmored targets or any large targets to shoot at. The best unit they can fire at are probably the Slayers, but yeah. Anyways, Marauder Bearmen some of them are still holding. The Brutes of the Hound, though, finally seeing combat, and against Slayers, this is exactly where they want to be, and they're absolutely thriving in combat right now. Out trading a more. Are they more expensive? Definitely out trading the enemies for sure. It's a let's see who can do more damage situation right now. But yeah, the Grimdrovers are pushing up to try and just shut down the rest of the Kurgan horsemen, but they are now falling victim to the Javelins as well. Not a whole lot of damage because they're armored and shielded, and they turn around facing the enemy with their with their shields, I want to say, but if anything, they should... Oh, okay, actually, they pulled the shields. Or now they're facing the enemy with... Wolfric the Wanderer being forgotten right in front of the Grim Delvers. Oh, no. Luckily, there's a hillside here, and quickly he's just running back and trying to go behind the hill and break the line of sight. Using the last bolt here, not doing a whole lot of damage. These Brutes of the Hound needs to start fighting those Slayers ASAP before they start getting shot again. But yeah, things are kind of even. The Norscan army managed to capture the point, so time is on their side. They just need to drag it out long enough to win, and they are halfway there already. Brutes of the Hound are moving into the Slayer blob, and they should be able to outtrade the enemy just fine. They didn't get an attack order, so that's a bit of a miss then. But it's fine, I guess. It's not the worst thing in the world. Ooh, but the Rune of Doom has activated, so the Slayers will trade a lot better. Still less attack than the Brutes of the Hound, I guess. Not that it matters in this situation, I don't think. There are still some Kurgan horsemen around, and the worshippers of the Crow are still relatively healthy, and with their physical resistance, they manage to tank out just fine. And the Kurgan horsemen, having mobility in this late stage of the game is so important. They are able to outmaneuver the beleaguered dwarf armies and exploit the gaps in their formations, starting to harass and run down the enemy missile units that are already rather tattered and taking more and more damage. Javelin hunters are moving in and start throwing their weapons. Ooh, another Rune of Wrath and Ruin, but unfortunately a miss as the marauders, the worshippers of the Crow, managed to move away. But yeah, that's gonna be I think this is a Norscan win. I think. Yeah, I might be wrong and you can laugh at me after that, but yeah, I think this Norscan has a pretty comfortable control on this battle right now. Both throwers are giving, like, despite what the balance of power says, I do think Norscan has a pretty good chance in winning this, because Wolfric is still alive. He can definitely run away from Thoric if he wants to, but... Oh wait, he's not! Dude, run away! What are you doing? You're not gonna win this one. Thoric has so much more health than you, and you don't have the AP to kill him right now. But yeah, the Worshippers of the Crow should be able to kill off the Bolt Throwers. The Brutes of the Hound are still very much healthy to outtrade the enemy Slayers. Oh, Wolfric is actually getting some damage done, but he is taking some damage as well. There's still some Marauder Bearmen with great weapons on the field, while the Dwarves are running out of missiles. Ironically, the Norscan still have missiles. Anything that are regrouped will be chased down by those Kurgan Horsemen. But of course, the Kurgan Horsemen are kind of running low in health as well. Wolfric is still holding. Wolfric is still holding. Is there any more Rune of Doom? Yeah, there might be another one coming in, just like now. Which Wolfric might want to back the hell out of there, because he's just going to get slapped by the extra melee attack here. But Wolfric is a stubborn one. He is standing his ground and actually out-trading Thoric. But does he have enough HP to last that long? I don't know. And I don't think so, if anything. Ooh, Javelin's coming in. It friendly fire might be the doom of Wolfric if he stays there. Nope, he's backing out of there. So letting the Javelin whittle down Thoric. And balance of fire is slowly back to even, as the Bolt Thrower crews with a lot of their ammo and the Iron Drakes as well has been pushed back by the enemy melee troops. And these balance of power don't really count because, dude, they're not gonna fire again because, one, they're super close to route. Two, there are more melee units than the dwarves can handle. And three, the Norskins are not gonna give them a chance to go back to mount the artillery. Even the Marauder Hunters with Javis ran out of ammo. They're still being committed to melee to chase down the Iron Drakes. And these two regiments of renown are still being relatively healthy. Compared to the rest of the Dwarf army, of course, but yeah. They're not healthy in general, but relatively. Everything's relative, right? They're relatively healthy on the battlefield. Everything's like on the verge of death anyways. And, Javelin's right in the face of Thoric Ironbrow. Does he have any other spells? No, he does not. He does not have any other runes. Just trying to use the... Yeah. So that's not going to do anything here. Probably should have waited when the Marauders are on him to use that Rune of Wrath and Ruin. I don't think that was going to make a difference. as the javelins are quickly bringing him down with all those anti-large shots. And that shall be victory for the Norskins here. It is clear that Wolfric is from the first game because it would be unthinkable for him to lack AP from a certain point in the second Total War. Even more compared with Floric, which is the dwarven equivalent of a wizard and has AP warriors, Thorgrim does not. That is true. That is true. There's also King Luin the Incurred, who does not... I don't think he has AP on anything but Beaky. Yeah, that... We got 6 votes, Chief. Fuck! Glacier Lake. Had to root for the stunties, though. Indeed. They had put up a valiant effort and didn't corner camp this time. I respect that. Did a lot of damage with the Slayers. And actually won down the Familiars fairly quick as well. With the Trollhammer torpedoes and Slayers attacks. Just unfortunately, the Bearmen, the 2 Regiment of Renowns here, the Brutes of the Hound and the Worshippers of the Crow, did really freaking well. They were held in reserve, and when they were unleashed upon the dwarves, the missiles were too occupied to whittle them down, and they were just thriving in melee combat, cutting down whatever came their way, getting way more than what they actually cost. And Wolfric did well too. Javi's held in reserve and did some pretty good job. A little bit premature with the Kurgan Horsemen, I believe, but General Spotify definitely played very well in this battle. Definitely a much better executed rush than I could have done myself. Alright, everything we have is just 2 Nurgle games at this point. Wood Elves, Nurgle versus Wood Elves, and Nurgle versus Empire. Last 2 battles, we are seeing Butcherbird here going with a line of Nurglings. 3 Chaos Knights, 4 Warhounds, and 4 more Furies, led by a Sorcerer Lord of Nurgle. Alright, let's slow down a bit on the Wood Elf army. Wood Elves, we have D-Wood Scouts, Swift Shiver Shards. Just gonna do some kiting, but do they have enough mobility to protect themselves from all that Nurgle Cav numbers and Furies? We shall see, as we are seeing some Glade Riders, Hackbane Tips, Skirmishers, Wild Riders, and one of them Wild Hunters of Kurnus, 4 units of Eternal Gods and a Papa Durthu, so maybe they'll have a chance of protecting those mobility. They're also bringing the Swift Shiver Shards for the burst damage to whittle down enemy troops, which I guess works against demons, but there's not enough demons on the field, and they have a lot of mobility to kill. They certainly need those Eternal Gods near those Swift Shiver Shards. We'll fast forward a bit. The Swift Shiver Shards don't have a lot of range. You can see 155. So, not the best. Oh no! The Glade Riders tried to do some cheeky charges on those Nurglings, but they exposed themselves to a counter charge from the Furies, taking some damage in return. And now the Chaos Knights of Nurgle are coming in, absolutely obliterating the Glade Riders on the charge. Sort of they've being dumped onto this unit here. But this might be a bit premature, as there's not really a blob being formed. And more Chaos Knights are coming in. And the Wild Riders being committed to the fight already will be subjected to a counter charge. And Nurglings kind of bogging them down as well. Furies diving down, shutting down those Swift Shiver Shards, disabling them from firing, while the Wild Riders desperately trying to screen and shut down those Furies. The Chaos Knights, though, being stuck this time with the Eternal Gods and the Wild Hunters of Kurnus reinforcing, they're quickly obliterated by those anti-large armor-piercing attacks. But Warhounds are coming in. There's just so many mobility on the field. There's not enough Wood Elf units to protect those archers right now. And Wild Riders are also losing against regular Chaos Knights of Nurgle, as they do not have anti-large armor-piercing, unlike the Regiment of Renowned Brethren. Yeah, that's a tongue twister of a word. But yeah, Warhounds jumping into the back line, and D-Wood Scouts are in big trouble. Just trying to run back and forth away from those Warhounds and mobilities. Eternal Gods are also coming in to screen, but there are just so many mobility nearby. The D-Wood Scouts are finding a hard time to actually fire. And Furies are now chasing down routed Wild Riders as well, making sure they can't come back. Glade Gods as well being routed, making sure they can't come back to help the Wood Elves anymore. Wait, two of the 3 Wild Riders are gone at this point. Only the Wild Hunters of Kurnoss are still remaining. Rancid Visitation is draining down Durthu, as that's the best way for Nurgle to actually take him down. Everything else on this Nurgle build just doesn't have a great attack against the Treemen, really. But yeah, Wild Hunters of Kurnoss really have to carry this on their back with the Eternal Gods here. But Swift Drift Charge will be shut down. This one unit also being jumped by a bunch of Knights and Furies. Eternal Gods are trying to come over to help, but it's too little too late now. Eternal Gods need to screen these Furies, but they're a little bit distracted by the other other Nurglings right now, and looks like Curse of Slug slowing down the Wild Hunters of Kurnoss, allowing the Furies to catch up to them, and at the same time, Chaos Knights turning around, catching these Wild Hunters of Kurnoss who can't really charge due to the lack of speed, right in the middle of sandwiching attack. And on top, Flock of Doom from Durthu though, trying to equalize this fight, turn this one around. But every bit of damage done to the Wild Hunters of Kurnoss is a win for the Nurgle army, as this Wood Elf army does not have any heals, and this Wild Hunters of Kurnoss would be a very key unit in the late game in working down those Chaos Knights. Might as well try to get as much of hit points away from that unit as possible right now, right? But yeah, Eternal Gods are coming into screen now, so the Chaos Knights will have to pull away. Oh, these Wild Hunters of Kurnoss try to go after this unit of Chaos Knights, but they pulled back, instead using this whittled down Chaos Knights to charge in, pinning down the Wild Hunters, allowing other Chaos Knights to come back and shut down the Wild Hunters of Kurnoss. The Eternal Gods are fighting against Nurglings just fine, but the problem are these Chaos Knights. Now the Eternal Gods are coming into screen. Oh, okay. Yeah, the Warhounds are still very much active, chasing down routed units, and very healthy as well. I feel like these 2 units would be enough to just swarm this Wild Hunters in the end. But yeah, Durthu is still a tough customer. There are still quite a few Eternal Gods on the field, so Wood Elves are not completely out of this one yet. Both sides forgot to capture the point so far. But yeah, Nurgle is putting Durthu on a timer. Rancid Visitations keep spamming onto Durthu, slowly whittling him down. And again, they don't have healing, so what you see is what you get for Durthu's HP, pushing him ever closer to getting routed. Oh wait, they still haven't caught that capture point. I think this is too late for a capture now. Everything is blobbing up. A little bit of a Flock of Doom trying to drain down the enemy army. But Durthu is still once again hit by Rancid Visitations, and you can see his HP is dropping visibly. Is there a Sword of Dave? No, he's used up all of that. That was a painful loss, because if there's a Sword of Dave in this kind of late game situation, maybe there's still a chance to turn this one back, but with the Psycho Charges, Streams of Corruption, and Durthu getting lower and lower, there's just not much that Wood Elves can do to bring this one back, as army losses hit. Yeah, the Chaos Knights is alright, but most of the damage done by the Chaos Sorcerer Lord to Durthu, and the sheer amount of mobility means that the Wood Elves, having only a few Wild Riders, really struggle to defend their Deepwood Scouts. Which is why, personally, when I go Wood Elves, I always just go Melee Rush. Because everyone was expecting Kite, expecting Archer, they built for that. And yeah, nobody expect a Zolt Rush from Wood Elves. And they were not prepared for it, while a Zolt Rush would be perfectly equipped to deal with this kind of army build, right? You have Zolts to fight the Chaos Knights, and then you have Eternal Gods to hold the line, provide that infantry support as well. You got like Melkos Mystifying Miasma to slow the enemy down, and at the same time healing from the Zolts to keep your units intact and just keep them fighting. So yeah, I would say just bring a Zolt Rush to throw a curveball at your opponent sometimes. Zolts aren't tanky enough. Zolts alone, they aren't tanky. But if you stack them up with Flesh to Stone, With that 60% physical resistance, yes, they are gonna be tanky enough. Derfel lost because he was too sad. He was alone with a bunch of dirty elves. Yeah, not enough trees and forest spirits. For sure. GG, 11 mobility units. Souls alone aren't tanky enough, but Zotes with physical resistance, 60% from Flesh to Stone. 4 casts, by the way, if you bring 2 Zotes. They will be tanky enough. But yeah, anyways, Nurgle this time, once again, Butcherbird going with Nurgle. 5 Forsaken, 3 Chaos Knights, 3 Warhounds, and we're seeing Kazk supporting a Chaos Sorcerer Lord versus the Empire going with going with a lot of firepower once again. Drugash really liking those Empire gunpowder today here. Black Lions, Outriders spammed, Pistoliers. Well, we have a Temple of Luminarch this time, so something different. Spears in the front line there, a shit ton of Outriders. Once again, can he pull this one off? We shall see. Temple of Luminarch leading the army is Balthasar Gelt with Searing Doom and Final Transmutation. And yeah, that's it for the army builds. Let's get the battle started. This is a round 2 game, I think, because this is on Valley of Thieves. Probably. Oh no, this might be 20 grounds. So 3rd game. Anyways, Forsaken rushing straight towards the Outriders. The Outriders, you might want to start running soon. Ooh, a little bit slow, but barely managed to get them running. Oh, maybe Drugash want to get one final volley before they retreat, but the reloading time is just not helping him. Anyways, Warhounds are chasing after the Outriders, but this is why there are some Empire Knights on the field to screen for those Outriders here. Pushing back those Chaos Warhounds, and then the Outriders can probably turn back and start shooting again. Oh, these are Knights of the Blazing Sun trying to limit the enemy healing. Neat stuff. But the Forsaken are relentless, pursuing after these spears, and they're gonna beat up those spears for sure. Especially after slowing them down with poison, denying them their escape. While at the same time, Forsaken and Chaos Knights piling onto those Empire Knights. This is trouble for the Empire, because they can't just run away. And Chaos Warhounds are coming in. Those Knights of the Blazing Sun are coming in to help, so definitely good stuff. And Searing Doom doing a lot of damage to those Chaos Knights of Nurgle. Searing Doom, a very good spell, good against both infantry and cavalry. But unfortunately, the Outriders somehow... Oh no, they somehow got caught in melee by Forsaken. They will get obliterated. And Warhounds are coming in as well. Oh, yeah, these Outriders are toast. They can't run away. They can't win against in a fight against the Chaos Warhounds, so they're dead. And the Empire Knights are not in Empire Cavalry are not in the position to screen for them. At least these Outriders are on the verge of death. These Outriders are on the verge of beating the Chaos Knights, but unfortunately the Chaos Knights stabilize their leadership and continues to fight on. So unfortunate swing of events all over the place for Empire. And there are no good targets for the Temple of Luminarch to delete. Case the Befouled is having his eyes locked onto the Temple of Luminarch, a very expensive piece of artillery with no use at all in this game. I don't see any good targets, honestly. Maybe just pinning things down with the Net of Emmentalk bound cast and then shooting it, but yeah, both Kazk and the Sorcerer are just going after the Temple of Luminarch, and that will be gone soon enough. While the Chaos Knights are just out trading those Empire Knights, with the Outriders completely shut down by the Poison Hounds and the Chaos Knights as well. They're shooting, they're doing damage, just not fast enough. They do consistent long periods of damage, but in this kind of fast-paced melee rush build, they just don't have the time to do so. The Empire Knights got hit by Curse of Snorlax, can't even intercept the Chaos Knight at this point. Yeah, I'm gonna fast forward this one because it is pretty much a Nurgle victory. And in that case, the Empire player also throws the towel, with Nurgle earning a victory. Yeah, the Chaos Knights just out-traded the Empire Knights and managed to catch those Outriders as well, with the help of the Warhounds beating everything down. And the Empire army is just not really equipped to deal with this kind of rush build, as the Knights of Blazing Sun got beat up pretty badly by the Chaos Knights as well. I think your guys' whole build has no real answers to Forsaken, to be honest. Yeah. Forsaken, fast, aggressive, just basically just gotta bum rush the spears, and then you've got no infantry left to protect your skirmishers. Wagon Kite Stang would be nice. Yeah, I agree. I don't know about Wagon Kite though. Wagon will survive in front of Warhounds and maybe even Chaos Knights, but the Forsaken is still gonna torn apart. Still gonna run down your spears. But yeah, Temple of Luminar, great against Kugath, but it's only good against one type of thing, which is big monsters. And nobody's gonna bring a big monsters into an Empire matchup unless they're just trolling around. So the Temple of Luminar doesn't have any real use here. I would say it's too much of a betting. Like, you're just betting on your opponent bringing a big monster, which is unlikely into Empire. So yeah, no, not really a good use for the Temple of Luminar. Like, if you really want an you want a net and an anti-large shooter, just bring Marcus, I guess. Since you have Gold Wizard anyways, you can still bring Metal Magic without bringing Balthazar Gelt. Wagons cannot be compromised though, and if Forsaken are paid for, I'm happy. This is all they do. Oh well. It's been a while since I played a lot of Empire, so I'm not really familiar with this matchup. Like, I feel like Empire is not exactly the strongest faction right now either. Like, a lot of their tools are kind of mediocre at what they do. Like, they can do a lot of things, but they don't excel at any one of them. Jack of all trades, master of none kind of thing. But yeah, anyways, that's all for today's... Lumia is good here on open map since Nurgle relies even more on their cheapest character. Maybe. But for this map, I feel like there's too much vegetation as well. I don't know. Anyways, that's it for today's battles. I hope you all enjoy this tournament. This little multiplayer action in the middle of the week. And today we have a lot of viewers, so I'm really grateful for everyone showing up to the tourney, both playing and watching the stream. And I hope you all had a great start to the new year, and wishing everyone a great 2026. If you like this, if you like watching this type of multiplayer content, be sure to hit the like button on this video, or on the stream to be exact, not video, and hit the subscribe button as well to keep an eye out for more streams and videos on my channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Tactical Edge signing out.